there's not. It's a 2000 contested. Are you serious? Did you see that? That was just huge central for Crimsix.
Oh man, I got to 3, making 4 kills at the start. He's already 2.5 kills away from getting his score streak.
To do it, check your corners, find one, there goes Huddle. No,
Finds it! Oh my God!
Just
wait,
do your stretches, get ready, because it's gonna be a party.
I got him.
Good job, good job.
Let's go! Oh my God!
What is happening?
OpTic Gaming!
Somebody call Sonny! It's the best in the world that just happened! My God! Go play! Go play! Go play! Be the hero! Be fit! He's gonna do it! Oh my!
Complete commotion is gonna be zero!
That's not enough time to work with in OpTic Gaming is not incredible stuff. Clay killing everybody, wants all the points! Oh my God! Doing it all by himself!
Inside the hard point, allow for
What's up, Orlando? Welcome. This is MLG Primetime. I'm your host, Chris Puckett, joined at the desk with 3 guys who have competed in a $1 million tournament and taken home first place. At the desk tonight, we got Replays, the 2015 champion. We got Mr. Merc, who got it done back at COD XP. And of course, our Call of Duty Ghost World Champion, TP. Fellas, how are we feeling tonight?
How can we not be excited for prime time?
feeling prime.
Feeling prime?
Yeah.
We got 2 great matchups tonight. We're going to see Luminosity versus OpTic Gaming, then Rise versus FaZe. Probably the toughest matches we're going to see throughout the pools the entire way. But first, guys, let's talk about some of the squads that came into this event, rocking new rosters. What have we seen from them so far?
Really, a lot of struggles, to be honest. I don't think they've had that amount of time to prepare, get those strategies, that chemistry down that you really need a competition like this. So Complexity struggling, TK struggling. We've seen glimpses of good things from them, but overall struggles.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Obviously, especially when you're putting a pool play, you're playing against the best teams in the world, you know? And you look at Complexity, it's 4 guys who basically have never played with one another. So, you know, when you take a brand new lineup like that, it's going to be tough.
I mean, it's definitely tough. They haven't really had any time either to get everything together. You know, you're going against all these good teams, you have all this time, so it's not the best tell to see if they're really doing well or not. It's a very confusing time for a lot of teams.
Well, we've had some pretty decent matches on the main stage, but mostly they've been one-sided. Over in the open bracket, pretty much the same thing. It's still really early, but we do have to note some of the major competitors in this one, starting with Allegiance. Guys, what can you tell me about this young squad?
Yeah, so Allegiance, they have Mochila, I believe it's Exotic, and then Remy and Royalty. Yes. So 2 guys in Remy and Royalty who, you know, were on 100 Thieves in Season 2. A lot of skill. Remy, a Call of Duty World Champion runner-up, so expect them to get into pool play.
I mean, they have a lot of talent on that roster, and their playstyles are very explosive and very slow at the same time, having Mochila and then Royalty and then Remy. So it's definitely a good team. I'm definitely confident.
Exactly. They've been up-and-comers throughout the scene, getting really solid results, especially in Advanced Warfare, getting consistent top 4 placing, so expect them to make a roar through the open bracket.
I really had a good time talking with Exotic. He said everyone's calling him Moch number 2. They look pretty similar. They were playing similar. They have the same scuff, same headphones on today. But Allegiance, they're not the only team in the open bracket to keep an eye on. Kingsman, probably the biggest name. They're coming in with the #1 seed. And this is a squad playing through an amateur bracket with 2 world champions. You got Parasite and Miracles back on the same squad. Are they going to be able to get it done and fight their way into pool play?
I mean, I definitely can see them doing that. I mean, they have the experience, they have the talent on that team. I mean, it's really all about if they can get on the same page. It seems that like those players have been a little bit off on the previous teams that I've been on about communicating with their teammates pretty well. So that's going to be a big thing for them, in my opinion.
So hot tempers on that lineup as well, though. So if things start to turn sour for them, they're not ones that, I guess, easily bounce back. So really look for them. They do have that #1 seed going through Open, some top-tier talent, but they cannot go on tilt. That's the biggest thing with them.
Now, one squad that I think we have to be a little bit worried for is Echo Fox. This is a squad that everyone hyped up. You know, Rick Fox, the owner of this team, they're going to go really far. They've got the great sponsorship, the great support. Echo Fox bombed out in Anaheim. They did not make it into pools as we all expected. Early in their first matchup, 250 to around 230 against a team that came from Puerto Rico. How worried should we be for Echo Fox knowing they're coming in with the 4 seed?
I would be pretty worried, honestly. I feel as they have a lot of hype around them, and they definitely have the players on the team to do some damage, but for some reason we haven't seen any of it. And even in their online practices and stuff, they haven't really impressed. So I don't really know.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're number 4 seed and you do get out, I mean, you get put into Pool D with OpTic and Luminosity. Like, I really don't see them competing at the highest level. I think they can get out of the amateur bracket, but I'm not sure they can do a lot of damage here in pools.
Well, tell me about the 5th seed, though. If these guys go all the way undefeated, we will see Echo Fox face off against Most Wanted, who it's a team that we know all of these faces, but what should we expect as we see Sensor returning now for Black Ops 3?
I think everyone's excited to see Doug Sensor Martin back on the 6. It's been a little bit of a hiatus, and he has some quality teammates to back him up. He's got Methods, he's got BL Fire, he's got examples, some regular faces we've seen throughout the years. So that will be a hell of a showdown if they do match up in that 4 or 5 seed match.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping we see these two teams play against each other tomorrow morning, but that, of course, is all going in the open bracket. We started with 96 teams. We're narrowing it down every single match. But in the pools, we have seen some great matches, especially on the Bravo stream. The closest match of the day, Infused, the only team representing Europe, taking on the newly retooled H2K featuring Dito.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see they were able to bounce back, and we saw at Anaheim having struggles with the reverse sweeps happening, especially against FaZe. We saw to knock them out. So for them to bounce back here at Orlando, be able to do the same thing, answer back in this uplink like we're seeing right now, and bounce back versus a strong new lineup with Dito being the addition onto H2K is really good sight.
Yeah, and last map they were down 5-3. So, and you saw that at Season 2 playoffs as well. They were down 5-1 on Hunted and made that comeback. So this is a team that has a lot of experience. They don't, falter under pressure. They are always in the game, always.
The biggest part of this is now we just saw it on the main stage. Infused is going to be starting off 2-0 in their group. They're ahead of everybody else. Let's take a look at how all of the pools have broken down up to this point. In Pool A, guys, who's been the team to watch so far?
It's tough to say. I mean, you expect Envy to come out on top, but for me, the question is for the #2 spot. Who's going to be able to step up? Elevate struggled heavily, I would say, against Envious, but against this new E-United lineup, you got Burns filling in for Colchan going over to the TK lineup. So are they going to be able to have that same slaying power like we saw before? Elevate struggling as well. Man, it's a tough one.
I think Elva takes it. I think Elva takes it.
And you know, I was talking with Dito from H2K. I was asking, who do you want to see win now, Infused or Ground Zero, the former Dream Team lineup? He said, I definitely want to see Infused, because that means we will play Ground Zero most likely for the 2nd spot to get out of Group B. Pool C and D, though, we all know who the favorites are here. FaZe Clan and Rise Nation. That match is going on later today. Both squads perfect so far. And then we're going to see OpTic Gaming taking on Luminosity in Group D. Is there a clear favorite here, knowing that Luminosity beat OpTic in the last matchup?
I don't know. I want to say OpTic so bad, but we saw the chink in the armor at stage 2. They choked that 3-1 lead that they had in that best of 7 there, so that's still very recent. The biggest thing, though, is OpTic going to be, awoken? Is complacency going to go away? I expect that.
I feel that with that last loss, OpTic Gaming has decided to wake up. They started scrimming a lot more. It doesn't matter if they were winning or losing. They were playing the game more. And usually when they do that and they start scrimming, they play on host, off host. It does not matter. That's when you see the OpTic Gaming that everyone is frightened to play. Yeah, so I think we're going to see OpTic here.
And Luminosity doesn't have as many games to get back into it. A 3-1 lead for OpTic, that's a win in this best of 5 tournament. So, Luminosity can't let them get ahead. OpTic usually doesn't let their opponents get back into the game. So expect OpTic to close it out.
We're going to get into the predictions a little bit deeper once we see the maps. And this, of course, is going to be another best of 5. As the maps are coming to us, guys, let's talk a little bit about Stage 2. When Luminosity beat this OpTic Gaming squad, where did things go wrong for OpTic Gaming?
Biggest thing we're going to go to is we're used to this OpTic Gaming lineups outslay every single team that they play against. LG has been sort of this first lineup that we've seen in Black Ops 3 that can match that in a sense. Taking multiple respawns in a row versus an OpTic Gaming lineup is one of the most difficult things to do in Call of Duty in general. So the fact that they're able to do that, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it again. That's the biggest question.
We'll see how it goes down, guys. OpTic Gaming versus Luminosity in just a few minutes. Before we get to the games, though, we have to introduce you to our teams.
The top dogs and reigning MLG champs come in off a surprising defeat at the CWL Stage 2 Finals. OpTic has won 4 out of 6 events this year. They've only lost to 3 teams on LAN in Black Ops 3, but are undefeated when making it to the Grand Final. LG struggled during the beginning of the season. They acquired Nameless during Stage 2, and he's completely turned this team around. They're getting better every event, improving from 6th to 4th at the CWL Stage 2 Finals. Scump is the top SMG player in Call of Duty. He dismantles enemy teams with his stellar aim and in-your-face aggression. Look for him to take over games in Respawn, and especially Hardpoint due to his positioning and pressure. Search and Destroy has been OpTic's weak point since forming over a year ago. It has been exploited at different events, most recently at the Stage 2 Finals. LG have talented SMD players across the board, and if the game goes the distance, OpTic could be in trouble. OpTic can't let Respawn game modes slip away from them. Their superior slang has allowed them to steamroll the competition since they formed in Advanced Warfare. With 3 respawns in a series, they just need to close each one out, and they'll come out on top. LG needs to come out and dominate the Search and Destroys. Dominating the first SND opens the door for them to steal either uplink or capture the flag.
And there you see our 2 squads. OpTic Gaming losing to Luminosity last time. We talked about their hunger. What signs have you seen from OpTic Gaming to know that this is a focused team, that they are back coming into this?
I mean, just their practice regimen coming into this tournament. I mean, every day, same time, and they're playing the longest as well. They start the earliest, they're playing the longest, they're trying to get as much time as they can before COD XP.
All right, and talking about the Luminosity squad on the other side of the stage, a lot of people are not going to say that they're the clear favorites to win this, but can they beat OpTic Gaming again? If they do, how do they get it done, Replays?
Can they? Yes, I think they can. I think they have the talent. I think they're going to need Saints to step up and play the SMG role, that explosive SMG role, and I think they're going to need Spacely to step up too. I know Study's been playing well, but I really do think I'm going to put a lot of pressure on Space here to play up, because if he can match up against the subs against OpTic, that could be really, really, really helpful for them.
Last question for you, TP. Study, MLG Anaheim, puts on a show. The whole crowd is chanting his name. Will Study dominate again? Can he do the same thing that he did against FaZe against this OpTic squad?
To have a series like he had at Anaheim, probably one of the best individual performances. I really don't expect to see it again, but if we do, it'll be a hell of a show.
It's going to be an interesting one to watch. We do know our maps here in pool play. We know every single set of best of 5s. And I got a chance to talk to Luminosity about this before the series. I asked them, how do you feel about the maps that we're about to show you? And they said, we're going to win it in 3 if we get it done. We really like our first 3 maps. Let's take a look at it, starting off with the Hardpoint. This one, guys, is one that you said yesterday in rehearsal that OpTic Gaming should be able to cruise through. Evac is one of their favorites. Why do you think LG is confident on this?
LG has a lot of sub power. They have, well, they kind of have a split in between it. This is probably Spacely's one of his more favorite maps too. This is something that fits into his play style. I do think this favors OpTic, though, in my opinion, just because of Formal being such a good AR on this map. Formal is one of the only ARs in this game that can randomly drop like 40 kills on such a close quarters map. It's not something that you see a lot of ARs being able to do.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking from playing against Formal on this map many times throughout the seasons, like, I don't know how he's able to do it. Him and Octane were like the 2 main players on these close quarter maps with an assault rifle that are able to completely take over, get that top control, get those spawns. Such dramatic effect on the game that Formal has.
Well, we know we're at least going to see games 2 and 3. That's going to be Breach, Search, and Destroy, and then we'll have Fringe Uplink for game number 3. But as we go through our ban and protect, guys, we got to talk about some of our key players to watch in this matchup presented by Gamma. Gamma's in the house, people in the crowd getting jacked up on it, but let's talk about 2 of these guys that are going to be the key players here. Scump, of course, is a player to watch here from OpTic Gaming. On the other side, we got to keep our eye on who? Do you think it's going to be Study? You said Saints, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's Saints. If you're gonna go Scump, it's got to go Saints. They're both explosive submachine gun players, and I think that's what they're gonna match up on.
Anything from the ban and protects that you guys have seen surprising so far? I see Man of War is definitely not going to be in play. Is that a recent patch decision or something that you always see out of Karma?
I just think that's something that Luminosity is very comfortable with, especially Nameless, who's the main AR. I think that's what he likes to use on this map. OpTic probably realizes that, gets that out of his hands. Formal wants to one-on-one him with an M8, and Formal, he's got a pretty good M8 shot.
Yeah, completely agree with you on that one. Nameless, that is his go-to weapon on this map. It's very viable. You can able to win those close quarter fights with the assault rifle, but if we were a betting man, you know, you take Formal's M8 over anyone else's at this time.
Basically.
And nothing really surprising coming out so far. No weird picks. Overclock is going to be removed. Now, yesterday you mentioned we might see some different picks when it comes down to search and destroy. With the new snipers being a little more balanced, you're not going to ban out one of them. We'll see if that changes up. Last picks coming through. But while we're getting ready here, what do you expect to see from Luminosity change, if anything, in the ban in Protects if they lose this game one?
I mean, you're just going to have to target one of the players, right? I mean, you need to get those key weapons out of their hands. I know Study and Nameless both like to use the Shiva. Maybe they protect that, ban the M8. It's just, you know, it's something that they could do. So we'll have to see how they play game one.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think you can even go as far as I would like to see them protect or keep a tactical somehow, but I mean, I don't know, the way LG likes to play things from like just the historical moment of LG, I think they like to play straight up. I don't think we're going to see too much crazy bans and protects out of them.
Just straight up games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stick to your guns pretty much. Maybe even see a Vesper come into play as well.
I would love that.
You know, for me, it comes down to like that third SMG player. Who's going to be able to take over? I feel like if a Vesper's in play, that might be able to sway that a bit, but who knows if we'll see that here.
Yeah, of course, talking about the SMGs here, guys, the submachine guns, the aggressive players, evac, a lot of close quarters action. Scump, one of the best. Luminosity, though, this is a squad chock full of talent. We will see if they're able to get it done. I'm looking forward to this matchup, guys. First of all, let's break down our key player matchup. It's ready for us now. They were cranking out the numbers. Here's how it broke down. It looks like the two players to watch, according to the statistics, definitely going to be Scump here for OpTic Gaming. On the other side, it's surprisingly Study. It's not guys like Spacely. It's not going to be Saints. Study has one of the best KDs on the team here on evac. Why do you think that is, TP?
He's one of the versatile players on the team. He will be able to switch up from that assault rifle, slower style, to that fast on the switch of a click, right? You can switch that class. He's one of the best players at doing that throughout his whole career, being able to use any weapon at any given time, and that's why he probably has so much success on these closer quarter maps.
And there you see the showdown. Study on the right, the King Scump on the left. You see the hardpoint KD from Scump through the roof with a 1.36. Study on the other side, a 1.04. But what's the most important number to look at there, guys?
Probably the hard
it's the
point.
KD.
Yeah,
it's just
probably
KD.
because the KD leads.
Unreal. The fact that he's able to do this so consistently from year to year, game to game, game type to game type, unbelievable stuff with an SMG.
Online to LAN as well.
Yes.
The kid just gets it done everywhere. Is there a way to shut Scump down real quick?
Yes.
Pop some smokes. I don't know. Tacticals. Yeah.
You got to play the best. You got to play the best Call of Duty you can possibly play against Scump.
All right, guys. Well, the map is loading up. That means it's done for us here at the analyst desk. Let's send it over to our casters.
Brilliant stuff, guys. We are ready. OpTic, Luminosity. We're going to kick things off. Where do you want to start?
I think we start off with Scump. Obviously, we put a lot of highlight emphasis on Scump in the pregame. I think we start things off with him here to kick things off.
Well, I'm with Scump, and he is not
moving, so I assume we're not going to start
it looks like one of the players here, I think, for Luminosity ended up dropping out. So it might just be a quick reset here for the guys, and we'll hop into our game one. But obviously, you kind of heard them chat a little bit about predictions, how they feel this is going to go. We know about the upset at stage 2. What a big shock that was, really, for everybody. I casted the OpTic upset, I casted the FaZe upset, both going 7 games.
I am interested to see how OpTic comes out and plays. They have not looked too good from what I've seen over the last month or so, but you have a theory on this, which
I remember
how great his theories are.
They're usually awful. I remember the beginning of Advanced Warfare.
You can't even talk about
They were crushing. Everything online they were winning, destroying. And I remember they came out Friday at Columbus, the first day of the LAN, and they got kind of smoked in Hardpoint. And when we were talking to them about it, they were just like, we didn't realize you had to rotate. We were playing so well online. You know, basically they were the team house. They were crushing so much. They actually were playing the game mode wrong because they had played online. Were dominating so much.
And they can just run through everybody with guns.
So even this year at times, you know, remember they dropped what, 2 games, 2 matches through the course of stage 1. They were crushing everyone. Right. Now they come in, playing off host quite a bit. You know, they've been losing some scrims. I wonder if somehow that's actually going to produce a better result here. I feel like it might, because that maybe the confidence isn't, the overconfidence isn't there as much. They were kind of reality checking a little bit.
You can make that argument, but how many times have we seen a team that they don't look good online or coming into the event, and like they still don't look good at the event. Like
that's true. That's
easily as you kind of make that argument,
well,
like,
they've been
easily
grinding.
they could kind of play the same way they have.
I think stage 2 will end up being a big blessing for this OpTic side with this event and also leading into COD XP because, yeah, they got reality check to a little bit of a degree.
I kind of disagree. I think this would be a good reality check. Like I think.
Oh, if they lost this too?
Yeah, I think this is like one where, I mean, you look back, like complexity, like losing that U.S. regional and Ghost was probably the best thing that happened to that team. I mean, we kind of coast through all of those, and who knows what happens at COD XP, just trying to get back into the game here. But you don't know what would have happened. I mean, I think losing something like this, maybe stage 2 is it, and they just kind of buckle down and they take this, they take XP, kind of complete their year. But I don't know. I feel like this could be another blessing in disguise.
It could be. Hey, I talked to Crim6 basically after the loss at stage 2, and he was very frustrated. He's basically like, I have to go back to general Crim mode, which I don't think he's really had to be throughout most this year because they haven't ever really needed to grind. They
got a
were
little
smoking
bit lazy
for the most part. Yeah, no, he said he took some blame for it. He's like, we need to get back to the grind. We need to step it up. But now we focused a little bit, obviously, on the side here of OpTic Gaming. Now going over to Luminosity, do you think that was not a fluke at all, but do you think that was going to be like an outlier finish for them? Like that's as high as it's going to get, or do you think they have a chance to really shock and surprise here?
I think they have a good, I don't want to say like a great chance. I think they have a chance in this matchup. I don't think like their performance at stage 2 finals was a fluke. I think this is a very good team. I mean, you look, Studdy has been playing some of the best Call of Duty we've ever seen him play. I think Spacely has really kind of fit in on this team well, in the OBJ department, getting a lot of things done. And I think Nameless, coming over from Cole to this team, it's like night and day. I mean, he was not that good on complexity. Comes in here, he's been playing very well.
And thank you guys for being patient. Again, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but one of the players dropped out basically as soon as we got into the game. So we're waiting for them to get the lobby back together. We'll hop right into it. Obviously, we're already done with the band protect, specialist draft, all that. It's just really getting the guys back in the lobby and kicking things off here for game 1. But thank you for watching. We're excited to get into this one. This is going to be amazing. But while we wait for this to get locked and loaded, let's take a look at Crim6.
He's on an 8-kill streak, 9-kill streak now, man.
Yeah, Crim's pretty good at COD, man. Like,
I heard he was really good, but he's really good at Call of Duty.
They win a couple, but that's it. Crim6 is on the bomb, and OpTic Gaming has taken the game 7.
My name is Ian Crim6 Porter, and I play for OpTic Gaming. So I've been playing video games since I was 9 years old. I really just fell in love with FPS games. It was really just something I enjoyed. I think with FPSs I was instantly good. It was just sort of a natural thing, but it always just depends on how much I play and how much time I put in, how much I dedicate myself to being the best.
The first time I heard about Crim6 was at one of the MLGs in 2011. He had just made the transition from a Halo professional into Call of Duty, and there was a lot of hype behind that, and he was killing it, right? He was killing it and killing it, and there was a lot of coverage on that. Like Puckett was talking about it.
I want to watch Crim6 because last time he was in a search and destroy, the man went 11-0.
And then how easy the transition was for him to become a Call of Duty pro, to play at that competitive level.
It's just video games is something that I don't have a cap on. Like, I can always get better. I always think that I can get better. And, that's what really motivates me to succeed in video games. The only real doubters I had was just my family when I was young, but they didn't understand. They were definitely like, what are you doing? Like, don't throw your life away. Whenever someone says anything negative to me, they, motivate me even more. I'm gonna be wanting to prove them wrong, and it's just in my hands. It's in my hands. When they say something like that, it just motivates me, it drives me even more. Now it's a little bit different considering how many tournaments I've won and considering like the amount of success that I've had. It was definitely the COD champs of 2014, I think. My teammate Damon and I won. The first place prize was $400,000, and I think it was at that moment they were like, we can't say anything anymore. When I was going to college, I really had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I just knew that, I like video games so much, right? It was just really hard and confusing. And I like to this day, if I wasn't playing competitive video games, I think, I don't know what I would want to do. So sort of a relaxing day today, not really doing much. I want to get a couple videos done. I'm not shy anymore like I used to be. I used to be really quiet, really shy. And you know, video games has actually helped me a lot with that. Now I'm doing YouTube, I'm doing streaming, I'm talking to fans every day. You know, it's just something that I've really got out of the box on.
I knew that if I challenged him to become a personality alongside the competitive player that he is, that he was going to be in a very good position. And luckily for me, he was willing to take the challenge. Luckily for me, he was funny enough to be able to do that. And the willingness to be open on camera is something that a lot of people don't get to see. So you put the camera in front of him, you got to see magic happen.
I do feel like I've accomplished a lot in video games. I'm incredibly happy. I'm incredibly grateful for every opportunity that I have. And the one thing that I want the most right now, I want to be known as, you know, the greatest team player, at least the greatest team player that ever played, you know, whether it be, you know, motivating your teammates, doing whatever role needs to be done in game, you know, clutching up when it matters. I just want to be the person that, you know, people say, I wish I teamed with him.
Crim6 is a dream. You know, you had a chance to coach him for a while.
I've known Crim for a very long time. I mean, I've teamed with Crim on, you know, games in the past. Obviously, you know, worked with him on Cole.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I have. But anyway, he's probably the most dedicated player, I think, that we have in the CWL. I don't think anyone could really argue that. A guy's really motivated by winning, obviously, like you heard in the video. I think he was obviously a huge addition to this OpTic Gaming roster, right? I mean, when he kind of joined, even when Nate was on the team, just changed the way that entire team felt.
He's the leader, the general, the one that's going to make sure they get things done. And you know, I assume when they lose, when they get upset, I know that he takes.
He doesn't take losing.
Well, he feels he's to blame. Like, yes, maybe it was other guys doing things wrong, but he feels he's the one that should be the catalyst for them.
He's the one that needs to fix everything. Yeah, that's kind of how he feels.
He takes that pressure on though, and to this point has done a brilliant job. But now it's when it matters, getting up to COD XP. The guys are back in. They're just editing their classes, and we should be ready to hop in. Again, thank you so much for being patient. I'm kind of glad somebody dropped out. I enjoyed that video.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I learned more about Crim. There were things I learned there that I didn't know about.
Halfway through it, our directors in our ears like, "Todd, it's another minute 30." I was like, "Wow, this is a long video. So what are we talking about next?"
A lot of stuff with Crim.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think game should be starting here momentarily.
Yeah, so and I've been watching them over the last few weeks. Is like Karma's actually been pretty vocal.
You saw that 5-minute rant?
Yeah, I saw the 5-minute rant. I watched a little bit more than that 5-minute rant, but he's been very vocal about what needs to change on this team for them to work. I'm interested to see if they kind of take some of the things that he's thrown at them, because he's a guy who's very quiet, very reserved, and it's like when he says something, it usually like he's hit a breaking point and something needs to change. So when he starts talking like that, you got to assume there are some things that needed to get fixed.
And I didn't even see. Okay, no, we're good to go. We're ready, locked in. It's evac hardpoint.
What didn't you see?
I had a point.
I was like, what didn't you see?
I had a point. And then I saw the game's in. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. No. Everybody's here. Game is loading in right now. So
okay, you said
the action here.
You said you want to start off with Scum.
Yeah,
right?
I want to start off with Scum.
We
finally get to see Scum. It's been a little bit of a wait, but it'll be OpTic Gaming versus Luminosity. Game number 1, evac hardpoint. You can hear the OpTic fans already starting to get loud.
My point before I interrupted myself was I didn't see their first series versus TK.
Gotcha.
The point I want to make too is this is Luminosity, I believe their first series, so this is a tough one for
OpTic
sure.
wins versus TK 3-0.
So it's a 2-piece early there for Scum, baby, opening things up. You can see via X-Ray. Another shout out to Treyarch. This Codcaster mode has gotten more and more beautiful as time has gone on, and Scum heating up early, trying to find the 4th. Gets up. It's at least the assist. He's 3-0 off the break.
And he's just doing a fantastic job controlling that first hardpoint with the SMG. And something of note, I feel like, I don't want to say OpTic came into that match against Luminosity in Stage 2 finals, and kind of took them lightly. I feel like, if anything, now OpTic knows how good Luminosity is. Obviously, can beat them at any moment. So I feel like OpTic's going to come out on their best foot forward at this event. So you see Luminosity, they're able to get the hill back. It's a good start from Nameless, 6-2. Now they're going to have a little bit of a lead, and they're going to have that helipad spawn for that next hardpoint.
And you'll see HVK out for Karma coming in the field. Nameless has one as well. He was on a 3 streak there before dropping. This is kind of the perfect map for that kind of hybrid weapon. Good between ranges, but Luminosity pretty good start here at the rip. You see Trophies out, trying to make some plays, sliding out, able to win one gunfight. You see Karma and X-Ray in the back. They're trying to hold the spawns there on helipad, but so far, Spacely holding strong here, hiding in the grass and going to challenge Karma in the back. It is a long-range fight, gets a little bit of help.
Well, yeah, he gets the teammate to get on the crossfire right there. It was a fantastic play by Spacely and Saints, able to take Karma out in the back. And Karma playing for those spawns, has no teammate support. And you see OpTic Gaming spawning out. Luminosity doing a fantastic job holding the second hard point.
And he's getting real close to streaks here, baby. There is the dart, but right as he gets it, he ends up dropping. Wasn't very far off the Hellstorm and Lightning. Let's go to Nameless's POV now. He's going to try and break in, finds one, challenges the second. Formal's able to win that inside, but he was tagged up and ultimately is going to fall. Scumpy getting set up now for the third hard point. You saw an X-ray. It looks like it's Spacely in the back that was going to contest, but Crim6 able to clean him up. And now this is a good chance for OpTic Gaming to get a good hold here on the third hard point, because up to this point, I mean, this has been pretty much all Luminosity.
And this should be a hill that's a little bit easier for OpTic to hold, but you see a kill with the dart coming in there for Spacely. Saints is going to grab one, and now it's going to be on Crim to pick up some kills inside of the hill. He's going to drop, but you see Karma and Scump coming from the opposite side on a pinch, and they're able to take out two players from LG. It's a very nice play by the two SMGs of OpTic Gaming.
Well, Study comes from behind, though, and he's able to clear it out, at least contest and win a second. Study going off, well, starting to go off. He was 1 in 8 to this point. He gets 2 there.
When you're 1 in 8, I feel like 2 kills is going off.
It really is, yeah.
2 kills is going off, you can say that.
Percentage-wise, it's a pretty hefty increase there for Study. Heatwave available for Spacely. He's able to win 1. Contesting now, as there are several members from OpTic Gaming here that may wrap around the back. Let's see how he opts to use this. Heatwave doesn't need it yet, able to win the gunfight there easily, and still Luminosity holding on, 40-point or so advantage. Solid stuff thus far, but this is okay. We talk about this time and time again. I sound like a broken record, but when you have teams like OpTic, usually people will play them tough until somewhere around the 100 mark, and that's when OpTic explodes.
You know OpTic is going to go on a streak eventually. You're just hoping, if you're Luminosity, that you have a large enough lead to withstand that push by OpTic Gaming. And you see it's going to be 3 dead for OpTic Gaming on this hard point, and it's going to be LG pushing in here, trying to get controls. Nameless throwing trophies in. It's going to be Scump up top with that kinetic armor. He's able to win 1. You're going to see Karma picking up another, and it's going to be OG taking the hill back from Luminosity.
And you see, you kind of have a slow start from 2 players in this. You have Formal not having a brilliant start really on the side of OpTic, and on the other side, it's Study. But when you have, look at the numbers you have from Saints, Spacely, and Nameless, pretty much identical for the most part from a slaying standpoint. And so far, that trifecta.
I mean, you kind of look at Study comes alive here in the second half. Luminosity should be able to pull away from this game, regardless of what happens on the side of OpTic Gaming. Then you see OpTic spawning Luminosity out here. Luminosity probably not going to get another grab at this hard point. So it'll be OpTic down about 10 seconds or so going into the second rotation hills, which is actually a pretty good start for them considering how far they were down
That
earlier.
was the first good hard point you've had for OpTic. And just like that, though, when you get, at least 45 or so, somewhere in that ballpark, they're able to take from glass. They're right back in the swing of things here. Now let's see what they can do. You got Formal locking down things in the back. He's got the HVK. His teammate's going to push in then with the submachine guns, but both fall. Everybody dropping in front. The heat wave coming through, but he's still able to stay alive and find the kill. Formal starting to get things going. He's getting closer and closer to that site as well. Now he's going to wrap back, but you can take a look at the minimap. It looks like most of the pressure going to be coming from the other side. He may actually engage here kind of near the uplink drone spawn, but his teammate front able to take it. Trying to keep that streak going, but ultimately will end up falling.
Yeah, and OpTic Gaming is going to take the lead here against Luminosity as you see Saints and Spacely breaking into the hard point for LG. It's really important, Maven, that LG pushes this back helipad spawn and gets control of it for that second hard point. They need another good hold on that one.
Well, let's take a look. If you see, kind of back helipad, we'll hop to that number 3 on the minute. It's going to be Formal. He's going to be the one looking to get set up and control the spawns early on. Just taking a look at the action here. The first to engage is likely going to be Karma. There are 2 players coming in. He's going to wrap back probably so he gets a bit of that assistance, that AR fire over the back from Formal as you see him picking up 1. Luminosity has put a little bit of a lead here, but OpTic did bounce right back into this. I'll see if they can actually, did they actually take the lead at any point during that?
Who, OpTic?
They
yes,
were
they did.
Okay.
They did take the lead during that moment in time, and you see LG, they're actually able to get a pinch going and break into the hard point. It was actually Study coming all the way around the back of the helipad, picked up 1 kill that opened that up for the rest of his team.
All right, let's go over to Scump, the monster. See if he's able to break in. You see so much action via X-Ray. He's able to slide in, not able to win it though. That's going to be going the way of Luminosity. Coming in the back is going to be Nameless finding 1. His teammate Study finding a couple as well. I swear every time I look at Study, he's getting like kills in pairs, but still, I guess he's played about even since the slow start.
Yeah, right now, if you're OpTic Gaming looking on their side of things, you really need Karma and Formal to come alive. I mean, look at the game from Crim. You got 30 and 20 from Crim, 21 and 18 from Scump. He's having a fairly decent game. Karma's doing a good job playing inside of the objective. A minute 9 inside of the hill, but 11 and 12 kills apiece. They got to be better than that.
Well, let's stick with Crim for a little bit.
Study started out how poorly we talked about it. He was like 1 and 8. He's got more kills than both Karma and Formal right now.
Yeah, that's pretty scary if you're an OpTic fan, but can Krim keep the carry going is the question. He's got the dart out. There's one to lower wall run, tagging one there at AC, just hunting for kills. Nothing coming from this, but he'll be able to hop out shortly. If anything, might end up tagging a teammate, but getting some scouting information here. I guess finding one kill, might be able to find a second. There's two with the dart. It looked poor early, but goes strong and big late. Solid stuff there from Crim6 as he is in a gunfight with what looks like 3 players. Finally, he will end up dropping. Let's go over to Karma, because you talked about the fact that he had a bit of a slow start, but he is on a 4 streak right now. He's able to pick up that dart. He's 75 off the Lightning. There's the Lightning now, 25 off the Hellstorm. Can he get that as well? He's got Heatwave to work with. There's one up top. No assists coming in. That's all he really needed here, but now they're going to rotate, probably just give him the original points here on the hard point.
Yeah, and it would be great if Karma can pick up that Hellstorm missile. It'd be huge for OpTic Gaming for the rest of this game. They take the lead yet again, but they need those streaks on the rotations. They'll be huge if they're able to get them. And it's going to be Karma getting the Hellstorm missile. He's going to pop the Heatwave. He's going to be able to get one. He's going to get Heatwave back. Somehow stays alive, not able to pick up the second.
Ooh, 6 in a row, but will ultimately end up falling. And he did just what he said he needed to. Finally picked it up. Now the kinetic armor going to get popped. Scump not able to win both, but he's having a solid game as well at 29 and 23. So just about a tie game right now, but you'll see with Karma highlighted, he is going to have the streaks currently to work with. And still on either side, it's just kind of become formal and steady. The two, I guess, trailing behind a little bit, but we'll see if one of them can kind of pick it up and turn it on.
If you are Karma, you want to save those streaks in case, your team does not get that back helipad spawn for the second hill, or you don't get that spawn for the third hard point. Those are the 2 key ones you have to watch out for those streaks on if you're Luminosity.
Well, Saints picks up 2. There's now 1 left in the hard point. That's going to get cleaned up as we're going to have 10 seconds or so left here before we rotate out. Up close and personal, going to run out of the ammo in that sight, so the trash time going to go over to Crim6 for just those couple ticks. And now they've rotated out as we're going to go through our 3rd set of rotations here. Krim able to find one early. Tag up the second. Needs a little bit of help. I take it back. He doesn't. He gets 2. Scump picks up the 3rd. They've shut it down here. Let's see if finally, this is OpTic's biggest lead. Can they push this out? Krim absolutely melting right now. That duo of him and Scump going off.
Yeah, now Krim is working on streaks as well, which if he's able to get that Hellstorm missile, already has the Lightning and the Dart, he'd be able to use those to either spawn the other team out. Let's say Karma uses his, they get control of that helipad. They'd be able to force them inside of that apartment area and then slay
This is what we talk about, man. There's just always a point in time in hardpoint where OpTic ends up getting streaky, going off, picking up these kill streaks, and it becomes so scary for the other team.
And once they get on a roll, I mean, they start to get confident, their communication becomes better, and they're very difficult to stop. And see, the last 15 seconds or so should go to LG. It's going to be Karma and Scump picking up 1. Krim's going to use his Lightning, so not going to have that. They're going to have just the Hellstorm on Krim, and they're going to have the Lightning and Dart still on the Karma. So they still have a lot of utility in terms of streaks.
Yeah, they certainly do. And almost getting turned into obliterated. It is nameless, but Karma able to at least get the assist there. Now we'll see if Spacely able to break, and he's going to find one with a dart out, I believe. Heatwave available for Spacely, trying to back up players here with his Simtex.
And that's a big kill because now LG gets control of the hardpoint and they get control of that back helipad. You see, study on your minimap, number 8, he's going to be watching that back area. His teammate's going to flood inside of the hardpoint. Now, with players dropping, it's going to force Study to fly in. He's going to be able to get 1. Has 2 more players directly in front of him, not able to win either engagement. But it is still LG able to hold on to the hardpoint, and they're going to take the lead again. This has been back and forth all game, Maeve.
Yeah, I mean, what was early on, I mean, pretty much Luminosity controlled is now just lead change after lead change. Formal Karma trying to break in. He's able to find 2. Formal gets it done, but Karma drops to his left. He knows there's one more. There's all 3. Formal locking it down. At least going to give them the final 12 points or so as they're going to rotate out. Now, this is the hard point. You got to think the streaks really start to come into play. So let's get to Karma's POV. I want to see if he calls something in on a rotation. Actually, we're going to go with Crim6 just because Crim6, he has 47 kills.
Yeah, he was waiting to use that streak to see if Krim can pick up some kills and give OpTic Gaming the spawn, and they could potentially save that streak for later in the game. Krim picks up 2, totally disrupts everything that LG was trying to do, and LG was rotating early.
Last time.
Here's the Dart,
Dart came into play. Can he get it done here? Teammates cleaning it up. Should be able to find one. There's the Dart kill coming in. He is going to get dropped while he is in pilot mode. But Karma here to back him up. He's going to fall to 5 streak now for Scump. 5 streak for Formal as well. The streaky play. You have full streaks now for Formal. That's Hellstorm Lightning Dart for 3 different players. And now Hell raining from above. How can Luminosity deal with this?
Yeah, and obviously the Lightning strikes and the Hellstorm's going to come into play here. OpTic Gaming, 20 seconds on this hardpoint. They can really put this game out of reach for LG if they hold on the remainder of this time.
It's insane how streaky they are. We talked about the slow start for what seemed like a whole game for Formal, but now he's come alive. It's a double-digit streak, 10 now almost 11, but the assist comes in. He's got the streaks to work with. They only need 8 more points. They should be able to close it down unless we get a perfect last hold from the side of Luminosity. But remember, this is where probably OpTic did their most damage.
Yeah, and it looks like OpTic Gaming going to call on those streaks. Formal with 2 with the Hellstorm missile. It's going to be OpTic Gaming coming back, taking game number 1, 250-206 versus Luminosity.
I think we'll see the final Hellstorm maybe here in the kill. Crim's all smiles. He just dropped a bomb, and here is 11 and 12 lining them up with the Hellstorm. And you know, we kind of said, who comes alive between Study and Formal? Formal ends up going +4, despite the fact he was negative basically the entire game. Study 22 and 39. Now
I think you got to talk about Crim though.
Oh, I mean, Crim crushed.
Crim goes 51 and 35. A minute and 12 in the hard point, 14 defense.
But one thing to remember, you know what stands out the most?
Yeah.
Remember game 1 versus OpTic in that best of 7 at stage 2? It was like 10 and 33 start from Study. What happened the rest of that series?
He played pretty good.
He dominated. He dominated after a very, very rough game 1. I mean, that was the most impressive thing for me for him is that typically if you have a real rough game 1, it's really hard to bounce back. But when I interviewed him, he's like, my teammates just kept saying, man, it's fine.
Study's
Shake
a guy
it off. Shake it off.
who really plays on emotion and confidence. So for him to bounce back, it's kind of harder, I would say, than some other players. Yeah. But he did bounce back at stage 2 finals in a big way. Yeah, and that's, I mean, that kind of like I said really, very early in the game, there are teams that can hang with OpTic, but at some point, those streaks come out where they just start to erupt, and you saw basically everyone getting streaked out on the side of OpTic Gaming. Game 1 goes the Green Wall's way, but to break that one down, we'll toss it back over to Puckett and the boys.
Thank you very much, fellas. Guys, we got to talk about the performances on both sides. First off, before we get to OpTic Gaming, let's talk about Luminosity, because for the first few minutes, it looked like they were in control. They even took the lead back to go up 206 to 204. Where was Luminosity playing well, and what went wrong for them in this first game?
I think I'm going to have to say that we talked about it before this match, that the key player matchup was Study and Scump, and I don't think Study performed. It was a close game, and I think if Study had a bit better of a game right there, that could have been in LG's favor, but he just didn't seem to perform as he normally does.
Didn't get the game you wanted out of Study, but where else did they fall short?
Well, I think the other 3 guys all played great. I mean, when you look at this lineup, is Nameless gonna, perform well versus Formal? Is Spacely gonna perform well versus the rest of those Submachine Gun players on OpTic? And all 3 of those guys all played great. It's just, there were some hills that OpTic took full control over, and they just took the lead.
Speaking of OpTic Gaming, TP, we got some highlights from these guys. Most of them came from 2 players. I was in the back, I came back out, and you said, look what Crim6 is doing. What was this man doing from the start of the game?
Is basically the combination of Crim and Scump on this map. Every time you're looking at the kill feed, it was popping up green. One of these 2 guys were popping in. Scump right off the rip doing what he does best, wall running in, picking up the 2 intro kills and that middle hard point. We saw that time and time again from these 2 guys, almost dropping the dual 50 bomb, which is almost unheard of on hard point on Black Ops 3. Another thing I need to mention is the dart usage from each of the members on OpTic. They use it to push out, and that's how you value your life. It's like you have an extra player on the map pushing out, you get an intro kill, and the numbers are instantly in your favor. Great stuff.
Earning some streaks, getting the job done. OpTic Gaming finishes it with 250 points. But if you look at that game, where could have LG taken it, Joe? Because for a minute there, it looked like OpTic was going to lose game 1 here in the best of 5.
Yeah, again, it's just that glass hill. OpTic does such a good job at pushing out, spawning Luminosity across the map. And then you look at what that 3rd hill at the end, that's when OpTic was using all of those darts. I mean, maybe hopefully now Luminosity makes some flat jacket classes because they have to make those ineffective.
The darts doing too much damage in game number 1. You can see the final score, 250 to 206 in favor of OpTic. But coming up next is Breach, Search, and Destroy. Fellas, before this game kicks off, what do you know about both teams? Who is the stronger squad specifically on Breach?
I know we talked about this, us 3 talked about this before in the rehearsal. I think that after we talked, I think LG is probably the stronger team on this map. I think LG is probably going to favor this side.
Yeah, very recently teamed with a lot of these guys, and this was one of our stronger S&D maps, purely because they're so good at taking middle control or just executing B pushes, basically taking the area of the map. That's something OpTic isn't really used to doing. Someone just, face smashing back, having that confidence to take those 1-versus-1 gunfights, and we saw it from 3 of the players on that first map. The biggest thing, though, is his Study going to bounce back. He's a very emotional player. So.
Yeah, for me, if you watch OpTic's Breach, Search, and Destroy game, they have a pretty basic setup, right? They just go to that B bomb, Scumpy slides to the bomb, and he gets it down. And if Luminosity knows this, they should be planning to counter that, and it'll be really exciting to see if OpTic has come up with new strategies.
And you can see the game is now in its ban and protect phase. Already the Man of War and Rapid Fire removed. Overclock is gone once again, and no HCXDs will be in play so far. 2 bans for each team. It's now time for ban number 5. Do you expect any protects in Search and Destroy specifically?
No, I don't think any protects are going to happen here. I think it's going to be a pretty straightforward ban and protect. Like I said, I think LG likes to play OpTic straight up. I think they have the confidence, and they've beaten them before, so they know they have what it takes. So I think they're just going to play it straight up.
In previous games, we've seen Study take over games with the sniper rifle. Do you dare pull it out on Breach? Now we see Overkill is going to be banned. That means you're not going to have a strong backup.
Yeah, and I mean, that was by Study. So that means that he's very confident if he's going to use that sniper, to use that RK5 or that L-car. I mean, I think Formal does this too. So no surprise there, but I honestly thought Overkill was going to slip by there.
Thought Overkill was going to get in. It is not. TP, we're going to see this Breach match. Break it down for me. Is it all B plants? Are we going to see anything else?
A lot of middle map control. Getting that middle hut is very, very important because it gives you that leeway to go to either bomb site, whether you want to rotate it or towards B, towards A. Really good line of sights, getting on top. Height control, very important. And then snipers come into play as well. Lots of really cool, tricky wall runs you can do over the porta potty side, over towards top green, the middle. Basically anywhere on the map, you can use those wall runs, the mechanic in Black Ops 3 to get a good line.
And having a player like Study, you can get that middle control with having Saints and Space hit the middle of the map like that, and then you have Study on the back green with such a good sniper shot. So if he can end up shutting Formal down and they can control this map, this can be something really big for them.
Well, it's Search and Destroy. We need to see what's going to happen with Study. He was kind of the X factor of game 1, a non-factor there. But in game number 2, if you look at the stats, our key player matchup is going to be between Crim6 and Nameless in Search and Destroy. Nameless with a 1.19 KD in Search and Destroy. How impressive is this number, and is it going to be enough?
I think it is going to be enough. The fact, like we were talking about, that middle map control is so important. Nameless is going to be that guy looking over his teammates as they push on the lower lanes of the map, something that Nameless has done so well throughout his career. So the biggest thing, Formal did, I don't want to say struggle, but didn't have the biggest of games in map number 1. Nameless kind of won that battle for me, so we need to see that again in map 2.
Crim6 on the other side, we just saw what he can do, dropping 50 bombs to start off this series. If you're going to slow Crim down, is there anything you can do against him in Search and Destroy, Joe?
It's tough because usually, you know, he's one of the guys that goes first for OpTic, right? I think like him and Karma, you know, Scump in there as well every now and then, but you have to shut down that first gunfight, you know, get him, you know, the first few rounds, you know, 0-2, 0-3, you know, put that pressure on him, and hopefully that'll shut him down for the rest of the game.
We're going to see how it plays out. I got to hear from the crowd before we send it over to the casters guy. Who wants to see LG tie this one up at 1 apiece? We got like 9 people. Who wants to see OpTic Gaming go up 2-0 here? Yeah, that's the crowd I'm used to. We'll see, is OpTic Gaming going to be able to get it done? We'll find out as we send it over to our casters.
Fantastic analysis, boys. We are ready for the game 2, Search and Destroy. We need some more Luminosity fans in the building, clearly. Might help.
The crowd seems pretty pro Luminosity to me. I don't know. What you're talking about.
But all right, the big thing here for me. I talked before, basically during the game, saying how Study. What was it? Something like.
For a second, I thought you forgot what you were talking about.
I do that all the time. Like 10-33 or whatever it was at that game 1, and he bounced back in a big way. Can he do it here? Because it's got to be a little bit more difficult. Think about Stage 2 final studio event. You're not looking at a big crowd atmosphere like this. It's in a smaller studio. Here with the crowd against you as well, does it make it a little bit more difficult maybe to bounce back after a poor game?
I don't know. I know like Teep and Ake and those guys, like they loved when like we'd go against OpTic and the crowd would kind of get at us. Like it's something
depends on the person.
They just
though, right?
love. Yeah, it just depends on the person. I don't think Study probably takes it the same way. I think it probably affects him a little bit more, but being jumped right into the action, it's going to be Breach, Search, and Destroy for game number 2.
I just want to look up top for a second, just misses it. But answering back, it's going to be Study getting it done. You know, you check those two. You're going to keep an eye on Formal and Study throughout this, as they're going to be your main damage dealers with those sniper rifles. Formal going to peek, though, misses a second shot there on Study.
Yeah, now Study gets that first blood, but now it's going to be Karma picking up 1, taking out Spacely as he was trying to get the bomb down over at B, and now the bomb is dropped, and it's going to be Scump getting taken out by Nameless. It's a big kill. Now it's going to let LG try and work up closer to that bomb site a little bit more.
You know what that gunfight just reminded me of? What? That last round. Remember, it was him and Nameless 1v1 on Redwood, where you like shoulder peeked and then challenged and lost the gunfight at Nameless? I'm sorry, I'm bringing back terrible memories for OpTic fans.
But OpTic's going to leave the B bomb side. Interesting enough, they're going to go rotate out towards A. Obviously, they had no idea the bomb was down, and it's going to be Study. It'll get bomb down for Luminosity, and now you're going to see OpTic Gaming start to rotate over towards that B bomb side. Formal misses yet another snipe. He is inches away from just destroying one of these players.
He splits them both.
Stop peeking.
Study's gotten 4 haircuts here.
He's going to die eventually. He's poking out like that. Eventually, Formal's going to be able to take him out. Now it's going to be a 2v1. Nameless able to get one, not able to take out Karma. It's going to be a round 1 win here for OpTic Gaming.
Karma gets it done. You know, Formal didn't find the shot there, but he did maybe scare them a little bit. The shots coming over the top. Well, let's see. I'm curious now. Do we see Study answer now the sniper of his own? Do we see Formal maybe put it away with the shaking shots?
I think you just see Luminosity get a little bit more aggressive, challenging Formal. Okay. If he's going to miss shots and stay with the sniper rifle, you got to punish him for it and take him out early in the round.
I kind of hope he sticks with it because those shots were close. Like if he can just adjust a little bit, that's the difference between him hitting 3 or 4 snipes. They're basically controlling the round.
It's like an inch off. But now Study's going to have a sniper rifle for Luminosity on the defensive end, so we'll see how they kind of battle each other. Formal will stay with the sniper rifle on the side of OpTic Gaming.
What? There it is!
Yeah.
I guessed wrong. I saw the battle about to go down, and now there's a second as a hit marker, but able to chase it up with the RK5.
I mean, eventually you knew.
Oh, God! That made me nervous.
I would have thrown up.
I tingled a little bit with that one.
I would have thrown up if you would have hit that.
All right, well, he's gotten 2. He's gotten 2, all right.
That would have been disgusting.
Crowd's losing it a bit. Let's take a look at the other perspective, though. Let's hop over with Nameless and Saints for a bit, because they're going to be the ones that have to battle back. I'll keep Formal highlighted, because he's actually may end up coming right into hello, friend. Not able to pull the shot. He's making me nervous, man.
I mean, he's going to have one player just directly to his left. Does not matter. Karma's able to pick up both of those kills. 2 big snipes at the beginning from Formal. 2 big kills from Karma there at the end. And if you actually take a look, it's going to be OpTic Gaming up 2-0 in the round count. Karma is 5-0. Formal is 3-1. Scump and Crim don't have to do much of anything. Both of zeros on the board, but
he's been
does
doing
not
it
matter.
Solely with the Shiva. So we'll try and focus a little bit on Karma here. I want to see how close he is actually getting to some of these streaks. So Karma's 5-0. He has already got his dart. He's 100 off of the lightning. So since he hasn't dropped yet, we like to focus on the offense, but it's kind of tough here. We have to stick with Karma as Karma and Formal are carrying the load. They have all 8 kills currently.
You see it's going to be an EMP check in the middle of the map. So Karma's going to have an idea. There are some players running towards that, and he's actually going to get an EMP assist there as Crim takes out Spacely. So he's going to be now only 50 away from that lightning.
Getting very, very close. You can see if Saints and Study through X-Ray. Not the easiest challenge here with a Shiva trying to push him from this angle. He needs a little bit of help. Maybe who's he got with him? I think it's Formal. So you're not going to have that much in the way of like an SMG to push in here. I mean, you have an SVG. Okay, well the pistol gets it done. I take it back.
Yeah, Formal just runs in after he fires 1 bullet. Then challenges the Arcade 5. Karma does not get a shot off there. It's going to be Nameless taking out Skunk. So it's going to be 1v2 for Formal. Sniper rifle, RK5 combination. Not able to pick up anything. Good comeback round for LG.
Yep, they get 1 round on the board. You know, 2-1, you're safe, you're looking good. You know, when it starts to spiral out of control, it's usually kind of that 3-0, 4-0 mark where things start to get really scary. So a big round and the 1 burst coming in here. Formal didn't even have a chance there. Nice shot by Nameless.
It's very difficult, obviously, when he pushes in with the RK5 and then you only have the Shiva on Karma. They both can't really make plays inside of that Palace area. So good offensive adjustment there from Luminosity.
Well, let's see if maybe the dart comes into play at all just by the movement here. It doesn't seem like that's going to be a player here for round 4. Very close to the heat wave. EMP over the top. He's got 1, maybe make it 3 actually, of them pushing top middle here, just trying to find the kills. They are going to be traded out in the favor of Luminosity. Karma might be able to turn this into a 2v2, but the pressure comes. What a play there from Saints as he flies in. Formal trying to answer back. He's now going to be in another 1v2, trying to make plays, but it's going to be Spacely from behind, tying things up at 2-2. LG came alive.
Yeah, it's a good round from Luminosity. They're just taking advantage of OpTic Gaming right now with Karma with the Shiva in hand and Formal with the sniper. If you get up close right in their faces, they can't really do much.
If you can close the gap, you're looking nice. Let's see if they can continue to do that. It's going to be their turn on offense now. So yeah, I would like to
see if they change guns or change something up. So
let's check it out. Got AR.
Karma will still be with the Shiva. Elcar in his back pocket, and Formal will still be with the sniper rifle, so nothing changes from OpTic Gaming.
The fact Nameless put away his AR makes me think he is going to fly, and that is the plan here.
They're going to get aggressive.
Going to go right at top broken. He didn't see him, but Karma slid right in front of him, and now there's a second. The glitch comes in, so we got some information there towards B.
But you see, you know, Luminosity making these adjustments, OpTic Gaming staying with the same game plan, and that's not working. It's a good switches from Luminosity here. They're going to push Formal on top glass. He's going to be able to get one, so now it's going to be a 3v3. Actually, make it a 2v3. Never mind, Grim just kills everybody. So 1v3 now in favor of OpTic Gaming. It's going to be Study, the only one alive, has to go out, check bomb. He's going to get tagged from all different directions, and they get pretty fortunate that Krim goes crazy there.
Yeah. Krim able to bail him out. You know, you thought the pressure towards Formal was good. That's what you kind of want, right? You want them to push the sniper. He was so focused on those two players kind of set up behind well, but he was able to get the call out or heard it coming. He gets out the RK5, is able to win that gunfight.
Yeah, if you're Luminosity, you got to trust Nameless to win that gun battle, you know, 8 out of 10 times, right? VMP versus, you know, RK5.
Yeah.
When Nameless is getting, well, Nameless is getting the first shot as well.
Yeah, the RK5 is just terrifying.
Yeah, the RK5. The RK5, definitely a very good weapon.
Your pocket submachine gun.
Yeah.
Slash shotgun, slash sniper rifle.
Yeah, it's a pretty effective pistol, but you can see what OpTic Gaming does on the offensive side of things, whether they change up some of their pushes or they kind of go with the same standard we've been seeing. They're trying to control this mid-map on both sides. And you see Formal playing pretty passive with the sniper rifle. Study actually rips off Karma at the beginning, so it's going to give Luminosity a man advantage.
Narrowly missing. He wants to take a second shot there. But let's switch over to the OpTic side because it is going to be a 2v, well, make it 1v3 now. We've seen Formal, a couple 1v2s. Now going to hide, and this happens when you're the sniper kind of playing back. Sometimes you get stuck in these tough spots. The question is, will he be able to maybe clutch one of these? If he can get this down to something a little bit more manageable, he does have count. So that,
yeah, that's
remember how I referred to it as
a
shotgun?
The RK5's a pretty good weapon.
That was the shotgun part.
Yeah, so
holy
see if he can pick up another, obviously, 1v2 scenario.
Look where, take a look where bomb is. So not in the most advantageous of positions.
Not in a great spot. It's actually just, he does see Study. Study has cold-blooded up top.
Oh, you gotta hit that, buddy!
He's barely moving. That is one Formal hits most of the time. Would have loved to have connected on that shot. Would have given him a pretty good chance to close out this round. And he is not gonna check his corner. He's gonna walk right by Saints. Saints closes it out. Ties it back up for Luminosity.
Yeah, he didn't have a whole lot of time. And think of where the bomb was there from Study being at top broken. Even if he got that kill, he had to kind of go out to the front of the bomb site to pick up the bomb. Study basically has that teed off. But Formal knowing where he is, might have been able to peek it, hit a shot there, make it a little bit more interesting.
Study would have just had to peek out, check bomb once. If it wasn't there, then he just had to kind of run over towards that A site. Probably would have taken a longer route through the back of Palace.
He didn't have well, I guess many options really to go with there. Let's go with Saints. We haven't seen too much of him. He's getting closer to that kinetic. You know, we talk about it being kind of a round 9, 10, 11 specialist ability. It takes a little while to get that one tuned up, but he's getting there. But the pressure, you know, mostly coming towards mid-map. Krim able to actually get the first blood. And who is that? It's Study that's basically kind of back lab. I have him highlighted. I thought for a second more pressure was going to come forward from OpTic, but it looks like he's safe for now.
Yeah, OpTic gets pretty aggressive up the mid-map at the start. They were going to challenge Study up top with the sniper rifle. They're able to go all the way into the back of the LG base and take him out. So it's going to be a 2v4 in favor of OpTic Gaming. This is not a good-looking round for Luminosity. It's just OpTic Gaming has taken so much map control, Maven. As soon as Luminosity goes over and takes Palace, and OpTic Gaming takes mid-map, they're trapped over in Palace. They can't do much of anything.
4 up, 4 down, and that's become, I think, more and more common from a lot of teams for us defensively, just trying to hit 3 or 4 over top middle, get control. It just limits the options so much, right? If they are hitting B, which is a little bit more standard, you can get a flank in very, very quickly if you take over top mid.
Well, if they don't hit mid-map as well, talking about the attacking team, when you hit mid-map on the defensive side of things, you kind of push them towards one side of the map, and you can trap them in and funnel them on one side. You take the entire map pretty much, so it's a pretty good defensive strategy.
Let's take a look now at the offense here for OpTic. It is going to be Study, though, in the back with the sniper. He's getting tagged up there with nades. Might have to back up. Yeah, he scared for his life. B control has completely been given now to OpTic. Your bomb carrier is going to be Scump. Where did Study relocate to? I just want to see what his... So he went right back up top.
Yep. Just backed down for a second. Was going to give up the site. He misses that shot on Karma by... Does not miss the second one. Fantastic shot there by Study. You're seeing some...
Oh! Don't show your head! No! Scump! Stop! All right.
Like, you would think, like, after your first 2 teammates died, like, I'm not going to return to the same
spot. Like he picked up their blood-spattered helmets and put them both on, so he's going to deflect the next bullet that comes in?
Please, kill me as I stand behind this AC unit.
Those shots are not easy to hit, man.
No, those shots are very difficult to hit, and Study pulls off 2 of them pretty easy there. You see Saints here in the final kill cam. be able to take out Scum because he just runs for his life.
That's what
I never understand that logic from players. It's like, I just watched both of my teammates die in that position. I'm going to run and stand
I
in the
also
same
want to
exact
like
spot. Yeah.
give him a little wave. But that's okay, if you're a top sniper,
yep.
Yes, you miss. But usually if you miss a shot and take it again in the same spot, you hit it more often than not. That was a lesson there. And that's me. That's Maven facts.
Yeah, I was going to say,
that's how you snipe. You miss your first shot, you hit your second, you're a good sniper.
There's no stat that proves that it's actually factual.
I'm a jackass.
But yeah, I think everyone would agree on that.
Oh, yeah. My parents would too. All right, well, let's hop over towards the B site. It's going to be Formal's turn to snipe in the back. And you'll see the precision a little bit easier when you look at the different thermals that are being used. It's kind of a personal preference thing, but at long range, you kind of like the one that Study's using a little bit more, kind of just the precision dot, makes hitting that specific shot a little bit easier. Where we've seen Formal hit some shots that kind of seems on point, but it's a little easier to, I guess, be off a hair with this particular scope.
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer the one that's...
Oh, okay, take it back.
But it doesn't matter. Just stay on with the Formal and Study the rest of this. Like, I don't even want to watch
There are
else,
pro
really.
players like rolling right now. They want to kill me because I've turned this into sniper warfare. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I don't care whatsoever. Formal picks up another one. We're going to miss it.
I'm sorry.
Him, but it's going to be Saints picking up a kill. It's going to be a 2v2 here. Formal with the RK5.
That's the sniper RK5.
That player had to have been weak. And it's going to be Spacely actually turning this into a 1v1. So going to have Spacely with bomb in hand. Gets annihilated by Formal with the RK5.
In that thing? It's a purifier. It's a war machine.
Missiles there. Look at this.
I love that you said the first guy had to be weak. He probably wasn't weak. That's just a typical RK5 kill.
I mean, kind of looking back on it, there's a chance he wasn't weak after seeing that last one.
He actually had extra health.
Yeah. OpTic Gaming 1 round away from taking a 2-0 lead in this series.
All right, let's see. It's
really starting to put it to LG
All right,
now.
so Study put it away for now. Formal still got it in hand. Pac-Man's the guy. Pac-Man's the guy that always complains that I watch snipers too much. Hey, bud, you out there in the crowd?
Okay, so Pac-Man never has a sniper in his hand.
He's usually the one getting sniped, so that's probably why.
Well,
hey, I'm kidding. I love him. He's a great player.
You see, it's going to be Karma watching top broken, getting up into this position, and it's been a good one for OpTic Gaming. Grim and Palace, he's going to be able to draw first blood. So OpTic Gaming, the map opens up a little bit more for them now.
Especially when you have Karma top broken, right?
Yeah, and Karma gets control of that top broken area. You kind of have an idea. You're able to get that bomb down. Over on the A side of the map, you have that mid-map control. We talked about how that's so important. And you see Spacely's going to use this heat wave. He's going to be able to get one, gets traded out right away. So it's going to be a 2v2. It's going to be Nameless and Study going up against Formal and Karma.
Remember, I don't think, well, I was going to say, I don't know if Formal's picked up like a secondary. Well, you don't need one. Yeah. Clearly the RK5 is
The RK5 has been proven to be a pretty good secondary.
He ran by 2 VMPs on the ground and said, nah.
No, I'm good. So the bomb's going to be rotated out towards B, and now that Luminosity is over at the A site right now, that obviously they're standing right on top of it. They know the bomb is not going down, so they're going to rotate pretty fast over towards B. And Study with active camo is going to go high over the top, going to be able to make a play and take out 2.
It's round 11. Study clutch it up. You know, what did we talk about? Again, game 1 struggles. He's bounced back in a big way. You saw it with the sniper. You see it here with the 2-piece with the camo and the VMP. I was trying to switch there because I thought maybe he was going to be sniping in that doorway, but it doesn't matter as he's obliterated before he even gets a chance. It's round 11, baby. The venue's tense. I see Benson right over there. Benson's tense. I'm kidding, buddy. You always look good. I don't know why tense is not looking good. It's going to be defense, though, here for OpTic Gaming. Going to check for a second over the top.
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but Saints now with kinetic armor. Kinetic armor is definitely going to come into play here this round 11, as it looks like LG is going to try and break into Palace.
Oh no, one just got right by. Now the call comes in. There's the heat wave trying to back to the corner, not able to do so. It's 2 players down. OpTic now has to pull off the 2v4. It's going to be Scump and Formal, and this is where the sniper becomes even more of a liability, right? When you're in a position like this, late round, 2 players left. Can they clutch? One pushing, the RK5 comes out, but not in time. It's now Scump, has to pull off the 1v4. Able to put shots in 1, put shots in the second, finish both kills. He's got a chance. It's 1v2. Can he do it? Scumpy trying to get the 1v4 ace here in round 11.
If you're Luminosity, you can't lose this. I mean, 25 seconds on the clock. You have bomb down. All you need to do is just check it every once in a while. I mean, you can't let anything crazy happen here. Nameless able to pick it up.
They get it.
And Luminosity wins round 11.
I was nervous.
I'll tell you what, it was Saints with that kinetic armor. He was able to pop it, get inside of Palace, and pick up that first kill. It's huge for LG to be able to get
that heat wave that he hit Krim, was that a teammate's?
That was Karma's heat wave.
I wondered, because, yeah, when you mentioned Saints is kinetic. All right, so Luminosity congrats to them. They're able to get on the board here in the search and destroy. You had some 6 snipes coming in from both sides.
Yep.
I think Study, what do you end up? 8 and 5. He had 3 plants to go with that as well. Formal, obviously, at the strong game as well, goes 11 and 7. But it goes down to the round 11. And yeah, like you said, the kinetic armor was huge. If this was Heatwave early in like stage 1, you're looking good because you don't hit Krim with that. But Krim gets hit. But that was a crazy, crazy search. I cannot wait to hear what the guys have to say. Puckett, take it away, buddy.
All right, thank you, fellas. Let's start with that round 11. Joe, you saw a big mistake, 5-5 match point. It all went wrong for OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a mistake, but to me, I think Luminosity knows that Formal's going to be sniping. I mean, you saw Study do it the whole game, but round 11, he switches it. He's on offense. They know they're going to make a push. I would have really liked to see Formal put that away and make a team push with his team or just stay alive. I just think that you saw he got caught in a bad position, easily traded the kill, and I just think he could have done more if he didn't have a sniper rifle that round.
No sniper rifle. Also, we thought there might be some heat wave hitting a teammate.
Yeah, I believe Karma actually hit. I think it was Crim6. Yeah, when they were trying to clean up a kill on Saints, who popped, I believe, Psychosis in that Palace area. So 2 huge mistakes for me from round 11.
So a tough finish there for OpTic Gaming, but let's talk about the positive side here from Luminosity. TP, you've been on the money. You said this is a breach. This is a map that you think this squad is stronger on. What were some of the highlights in your eyes?
Basically, Study was able to answer back with the sniper for the most part as we hop back into this flashback, and then Spacely as well does such a good job playing that sort of objective role, if you want to call it that, working over towards the B-bomb site, controlling Palace. Those close quarter gunfights is where he takes over and then has Stud looking over him like we're seeing right here to some super sick shots over towards that side. He sees some very difficult shots to hit, clutching out rounds. What great stuff from Stud there.
And Formal, big ace in round number 9. One of the highlights I saw. I mean, he gets all of it done. Clint decided to show 3 of them. But a great job there from Formal. But then you had Study answering back. Is this map always going to be a battle of the sniper rifles, or is it just when these 2 teams meet up on Breach?
No, most of the time, if you have a good sniper on Breach, you usually want to use it. Like I said, you saw Study get those 2 insane shots over that little pillar on top of green right there. That's what I was talking about before the show. You're going to see a lot of snipers do that, and it's so hard to take that guy out because he has so much cover and he can pop out, get a shot off, and then get right back down. Even if he misses it, you know he's there, and you're going to play a little bit more nerve-wracking because of that situation, and that's something that you'll see probably throughout the entire time. All
right, well, we have plenty more games to go. It's all tied up 1-1 here in the best of 5. Before we get to game number 3, we're going to take a look at one of Luminosity's star players. Here's Study.
Study is the best in the world right now. Study is not missing. Are you kidding me, Study? By MVP of the match.
It all started in Grandma's Hill. I wanted to help my teammates, and me being on the right side was like not helping my teammates at all. So my teammates die. I walked in from the bottom of the house, and then Clay jumps in from the front window. I missed all my bullets with a submachine gun. Switched to my AR, I kill Clay. I immediately turned around and shot at the front window, and Attach just jumped in, and it looked so sick.
One of the most exciting plays from the Anaheim Open came from Study when he picked up the 180 double kill.
Hard point here to try and make plays on X-Ray. He's got some pushing in, finds the BMP. The shot's off, but the M8's better. Able to pick that up, and there's a second. Turning and burning.
And Study's gonna get them both, the 180 double kill.
I don't know how I played like the way that I played. People were telling me like, yo, this is the old Study. I'm like, this is not the old Study. This is a brand new guy. This guy's a sick freak.
With plays like that out of Study, there is no stopping Luminosity.
And Luminosity has done it behind a mind-blowing performance from Study.
And there we have it, the sick freak Study putting on a show in game number 2. They take search and destroy. It's all tied up going into game number 3 for Uplink. But guys, talk to me about Study. That play that we just watched, that's what started the Study chant inside the MLG Anaheim venue.
The guy's just electrifying. Joe can speak to it as well. He's had many crazy runs with the guy as well. He can completely take over a game. There's times where he's had consistency issues, but throughout the past couple of months, man, the kid has been unstoppable. Joe, you can speak more to it.
Yeah, I mean, he just plays with confidence. Like, you always talk about it. It's whenever he plays these big guys, like big-name teams, he's like, yeah, I'm ready to play them. Like, I want to beat them. Like, you know, when pools get drawn in matchups for brackets, he's like, yeah, I want to play OpTic right away. You know, like, I want these big matches. And you don't meet many players like that. He lives up to the hype. He loves it. He just loves playing versus these great teams.
Yeah, no, he's definitely one of the players that I've teamed with. We actually won our first championship together, and literally throughout that entire event, he was probably the most hyped up person I've played with in a while. He's just someone that he thrives off playing those bigger name teams. He always wants to take out the big dog.
Just had a big performance on the other side. Formal, a great performance in Search and Destroy. I know we have a lot of fans here in Orlando, and I want to know, after seeing that last game, how many of you guys want to see a Game 5?
More, that's more.
Just a few. All right, a few more LG fans. They're winning them over slowly. OpTic Gaming's going to try and take the lead here as we head to Uplink, though, and it's time for our ban and protects. Already, the Shiva is going to be removed by Nameless, though.
I don't know about that, because I think Nameless and Study are very good with the Shiva. I mean, obviously they're very confident in maybe their HVKs and their M8s, but I think the Shiva was something that Study always talked about using. He loved using the Shiva, so maybe they just don't want Karma having a huge effect on this game.
Yeah, I guess so. Karma was that player over towards that B-bomb site, shooting over towards green. Popping that 2-bullet kill can be very, very lethal, especially on a longer range map like we're going to see on Fringe. So
no Man of War, but we saw an HVK in the hands of Formal earlier. The HCXD is going to be removed by OpTic Gaming, as well as they get rid of the concussion with their third ban. Overclock is now out, so not super speedy here around the map as we get into Uplink. Final two ban and protects. Give me your prediction. What do you got, Chris?
I think I'm going to take OpTic Gaming in this Uplink. I think they've been practicing very hard. I think this is going to go their way.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think this is one of their better uplink maps. Yeah. I think they you know, Scump and Karma get that barn control. They're able to pile on the score on that more preferred side. And then you're just going to look for Krim to keep having such a good series. You know, he's playing so well this series.
Crim6 the star of the squad right now?
Between him and Formal, I think so. Absolutely.
Yeah, completely agree. But for me, it's for Scump, especially on a map like this. Watch for him to push up towards those tracks, get into that top red, the barn building, and he just wreaks havoc in there. The top SMG players are able to do it consistently. Yeah. And we saw him go off pretty hard in that hard point. I expect him to fully do it again here.
As our players are going through, changing up their classes after the ban phase, and then also, of course, thinking about their specialist abilities, let's talk a little bit about Uplink in general. If you're new to Call of Duty, if you're tuning in for the first time, this is basically the most simple game you're going to watch. There's one ball, and there's a hoop in each base. You're going to try and get into your opponent's base. A 1-point toss will go in, or you can get 2 points if you jump in with the ball in your hands. But when it comes to Uplink, what is the most fundamental thing that we're going to want to look out for here? What should new players be looking out?
I mean, it's all about drone control. It's all about making sure that your team is in possession of the drone. Because even if you're getting outslayed in this game mode, it does not matter. Because if you're able to wrap that drone and keep it away and out of the hands of the other team, it doesn't really matter if you're getting slayed out, because you can stall some time for your teammates to spawn back up, and then they can get back to the map control, and then you can throw it out, reset it, or even go for a 1-point play on the other side of the map. That's definitely something that you're going to be looking for.
Yeah, and hitting your 1-point tosses. I mean, you can't let those opportunities slip up. I mean, you see some of these games, like we talk about it on the analyst desk. We're like, well, if he hit this one and this one, like it's a tie game, they go to overtime, maybe they win. There's so many different situations that change as soon as you score that uplink goal. So definitely hitting your 1-point tosses.
One of the biggest things as well is uplink has a 5-second respawn timer. If you're new watching the game, that's where the kills matter that much more. If you have that drone control like we were talking about before, you create that lane for your teammate, a lead blocker in a sense. You're leading your running back to a touchdown, right? If you're able to do that consistently, which OpTic has been able to do this entire year, you know, you're going to have a lot of success and get dunks. Those 2-point conversions are so important.
All right, well, we don't have a key player matchup because the statistics were pretty even across all 8 players, but you said Scump is your player to watch from OpTic Gaming. Is that just on the scoring side or also on the slaying side?
Slaying side. On the scoring side, you really have to look towards Karma. He's going to have a sort of bit of a lesser KD in some of these objective game types, but he has that drone in his hand. He doesn't have his weapon up. So obviously, if you're not shooting back, he's the one going to be rotating the drone majority of the time, going for those dunks, putting his life on the line so that his teammates like Scumpy can get those 1.3 KDs.
So we're looking for the Karma Scump duo for OpTic Gaming. When we look at Luminosity, who's going to be our ball carrier?
I'm gonna take Spacely. I think you're gonna have to watch Spacely. He's gonna be carrying the drone a lot, but even when he's not, he's gonna have to prove himself to be able to slay in the grandma side and the red side of things. When on each side, he wants to be behind them. He wants to be that nuisance of where OpTic's like, where is Spacely? We have to find him. He's in our base. You don't want him to have a bad game here. You're gonna rely on him very much to step it up right here.
Yeah, and again, all of Luminosity, I know we keep pointing at Study, but so many of these guys are playing consistent in this series, and they need to keep that up.
All right, we'll see how this one shakes up. This is the middle of the best of 5. Who's going to take the lead? Let's send it over to our casters as the game kicks off.
Brilliant analysis, gentlemen, but there is one thing that was missed.
High Caliber makes it in.
Yes, it did.
So I think it's going to make it a lot harder.
And
on
if they
Scum.
didn't miss it, I apologize. I'm a terrible listener. But I don't believe they saw High Caliber gets in. So that's
High Caliber does get in.
So the Shiva and Man of War come off. So it's not as big of a deal, but you still have an M8.
High Caliber is always a big deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, not on a long-range map like Fringe. It's going to be a big player. So see Nameless right off the bat. He's got it on his M8. I feel like you kind of be crazy not to have High Caliber if you're an AR. In
You have to, yeah. So you'll see as High Caliber, Quick Draw, Elo, Stock. Going to be finding one early, trying to find a second, not able to do so. But the drone is going to be in the hands of Study. He's pushing through. He's the only man up, but can he turn it into points? The body block does not come in time, and that is an early dunk here for the side of Luminosity.
And it kind of sounds dumb, but like a lot of the times teams forget to watch that middle of the map off the rip. Like they'll send players off over by tracks, they'll have one try and go through tin to get to auto, get to brick side, but like Study just walks right in the middle of the map, wins one gunfight, and takes the drone and just goes right in. So very nice play there by Study, and you see the drone's gonna get tossed up top to Scum. He's able to take out one, and he's going to have a beeline towards the goal. It's going to get intercepted at the final second.
Did he get it off? Did he get it? Oh, he did. Oh, God. I thought he
huge
was
play
out
there
for a
from
second.
Spacely.
6-6 stuff. I thought the kill was coming in like right before he was able to toss it out, but gets it done. Excellent defense, but drone's still going to be in hand here of OpTic Gaming. They've got mid-map control, and that's going to allow the pressure to come forward. One distracts, one tries to go for the dunk, but has to come up short there, put through the one-point toss. So right now, OpTic okay, but who snuck through kind of back alley and through bricks? That's Spacely, who's now going to be in a pretty good position with regards to kind of holding down drone here.
He's got to know where one player is. It looks like he was trying to see if he could throw an 8 or like
a lethal.
And, yeah, and just did not have any. So he's just going to look kind of weird there as he drops this Crim. And see Saints going to pick up the drone, throw it towards that back alley. It's going to open things up for Spacely yet again. He's going to have one player, actually, it's Formal's going to get cut down. So he's got just Karma to his right. Karma makes a big play. Able to take out Spacely as he's trying to come through back alley, but Nameless wins the gunfight. LG trying to go on the offensive yet again here, and two nice wins there from Scum.
Scum. Crispy. Those shots are good. He's going to let him go. Go ahead. Go ahead and march down that backside of tracks. We're going to get forward, try to get points on the board. Waits for his teammates there to clean it up. Able to do so now over the top of Barn and away. Tie game.
Nice shot there from Scum. It's a fairly easy shot to hit when nobody's shooting at you. One of the more difficult ones when you have players raining bullets at you from top Barn. But he knocks it down with ease. It's going to push Luminosity all the way into the back behind Barn. And this is where OpTic Gaming can really start to rally some scores.
Well, Spacely and Saints work together there to at least pick up one. I'm going to get back more towards the pressure side of mid-map, which is going to be Scum coming over. Goes right over the top, able to find one. There's another on track. Should be able to get that as well, but his teammate is there to clean it up. You see Nameless on X-Ray in top Barn. Karma has grabbed the drone as they're trying to get it forward. He's actually going to toss it over the top of Scum. Scum has Connect to work with as needed, but Crim6 leading the way in front. Should be an easy dunk.
You don't need it here, and Scum,
there it is.
Yeah, there you go. Finally puts it in for 2, and they have Luminosity pinned in that back alley. No reason to use this specialist ability to put the dunk in. Now you use it to try and lock them in this back alley for more points.
And toss, I think, went over the top for Crim to grab, and that's yet another dunk. 6-2 OpTic Gaming. They're making it look easy right now. There was one player on the overextension, and I think that's Spacely, who just won a gunfight. It's actually going to be 4 down now for OpTic Gaming. Going to be a good opportunity here for Luminosity to try and get some points on the board. You see Spacely in front. He's around the edge. Here is the dunk, only trailing by 2. Luminosity coming to life, but they're picking up kills. They need somebody back to mid-map to go pick it up. It looks like Nameless is going to be that guy, because they're still slaying. They're still picking up kills. Somebody just needs to get the drone.
Yeah, and if you're OpTic Gaming, you had to think about sending players out into that bricks area and try and get towards that mid-map. You keep going through that back alley.
There it is.
You pick up the kills, you get control of your base, but it just takes so long that you're going to give up more points.
Good point.
That's a weird time to pull the Tempest out there.
That Tempest
don't like that play at all.
Incredibly non-effective.
Yeah, no, that was about the least effective Tempest you've ever seen.
All right, well now, with the one-pointer going through, it is going to be lead back to OpTic Gaming with just over 60 seconds left to go here. Let's get back more towards mid-map. It's going to be Nameless, who I think tossed the drone over the top. We've seen him try to get it to Spacely a couple times, but Scum's already in the back, ready for this. The wallbang doesn't work. There's one coming from behind. The pinch is in, but he's got Study covering him on the kill for Crim6. Now they seem to find this one kill and should turn into point. Trying to win it, able to do so, able to gun Scum. Has Heatwave, but doesn't get it off. It's a kinetic armor from Saints in front. Somebody please find the kill. Saints able to get it, but needs a little bit of help. There's still a bit left in that kinetic, but defense holds for now for OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, 2 massive kills there from Formal. If he doesn't pick up both those players, that's at least least going to be a 1-point play and a tie game here at the end. And you see Spacely's going to use his heat wave in the mid-map. He's going to be able to pick up 2 players. Now we're going to push up a little bit further, try and get control of that front grandma area, and hopefully Luminosity can turn this into points here late.
Well, should try to toss this forward, but he actually ends up dropping, so Spacely gets killed. The pass isn't there, trying to get over the top, not able to do so. Saints last man up to maybe make a play. Is there a time for OpTic to put one through? Yes, there is. Crimson finds the melee, trying to get forward, gonna get cut down. It looks like it should be a 7-6 lead here going into half. Yeah, nobody in range here to get a toss off, so OpTic holds on, but honestly...
They hold on, but I think it's a good half for Luminosity.
Very, very good, considering, I mean, when it was 6-2, you start to feel like OpTic has complete control. It's going to get away from him, but just like that, you get back-to-back dunks for Luminosity. They get right back in the mix of things, and we've got ourselves a game for the second half.
And I think you're going to have to look and see how Luminosity comes out off the break here. They can get control of tracks, get into barn. They can make some good things happen. They can take the lead very quickly. And I think you're going to be looking back and seeing that Tempest use from Study. I mean, obviously, it was not a great use. We kind of showed it for about a half of a second.
He didn't even get to use it.
He pulled it out, and then he just died with it. I think you would have liked to have that off the rip here to start.
And kind of similar to what we saw in the game 1, early on, just like one player from each team sort of struggled a little bit. You kind of have Spacely on one side, Karma on the other, just purely from a sliding perspective. Reminds me of it a little bit, but now let's see where the plays come in. Coming up from behind, Karma there, able to find one, still has the heat wave to work with. You see Drone. I don't know if it got tossed up top or if it's kind of sitting in bricks.
Yeah, no, that drone's up top.
Okay,
I mean, you can see that Saint's like right on top of the icon. He's not picking it up, so he's got to believe that the drone gets played up top. He's going to be able to get into that back barn area. He's going to be able to grab one. The drone's going to be in the hands of Nameless. It looks like he's going to settle for this 1-point throw and go over the top of barn. It's actually intercepted by Karma. Fantastic play. He's going to be able to intercept that, stop that 1-point play from going through, and that would have been tie game here. It's a big play there out of Karma.
Nice pick from Karma. He's double negative, but plays like that are the ones you remember coming up with the interception, especially when they're only ahead by 1, and this may very well end up being a 1-possession type of game. Does he heat wave around the edge? He's going to try, dip, dive, stay alive. Now the heat wave comes out, looking for the kill. Teammate picks it up, the assist comes in, and this should be a dunk. There it is, 9-6 OpTic Gaming. I mean, they're in the base, wreaking havoc.
That interception's like, what, a 3-point swing?
Basically, yeah.
I mean, he picks off that 1-point throw on the side of LG, and then he runs it in for 2 for OpTic Gaming, and that is a huge play. And that's the type of stuff that obviously, doesn't show up in your KD when we're obviously looking at a lot of stats. And that's a play that Karma makes that you don't want to say like saves the game, but in a way, it kind of does. It blows the game open for OpTic Gaming, because when he gets that 2-point play, they get control of the LG base, and in turn, that gets Formal a score and full streaks. Yep. So it's a huge play from Karma.
It absolutely is. You kind of have a bit of a reset due to the fact that you had a big Scythe use from Nameless. He picked up 3 to kind of clear the base. It's going to be Formal now with this dart out, kind of looking for kills.
There's one.
No, that was Scump. That was Scump. Thanks, bud. Find someone tracks.
There's one, yeah.
Brings it back to even.
I was going to say, brings it back to 0.
He almost flew right. Oh, I thought that was the back of one of his teammates. Oh. It actually was. He almost flew that directly into the rear end of one of his teammates. I don't think I've ever seen a 2-team kill dart.
That would have been non-effective dart use. What would have been worse? The 2-team kills with the dart, or Study pulling the Tempest out and just dying instantly?
Probably the dart, and he killed the second teammate.
Well, Study trying to get in for a 1-point play. Too bad everybody from OpTic Gaming back at home, and Scump with kinetic armor is not going to turn that into points that easy as OpTic stops that push, throws the drone on top of the building, and they're going to get that long reset. When you throw the drone on top of that building, it's going to reset the drone for 15 seconds and take a while for it to spawn up.
Well, 11-6 advantage here, Matt. You got 2 minutes left on the clock. Luminosity can certainly get it done. You see some streaks coming in from Formal. I just want to check real quick what he has left. He just has the lightning left, so he's used the dart now. Use the Hellstorm.
And this is a map that you can snowball from the side that Luminosity is on. Like, you can get control of that back barn area, you can spawn them back alley, and you can make plays. Like, this game is not over. There's still a ton of time left.
Trying to win one gunfight here is Scump, tagged up and has to back down. You'll see the drones got into the backside of OpTic Gaming's track. Scump, oh God! Lord have mercy, Scump shreds too in any attack. Thwarted from the side of Luminosity, and now the lightning's going to come in from Formal. He's going to call it in, clear the way for the dunk, and he actually... How many times are you going to kill Scump?
Doesn't matter. As OpTic Gaming puts that one in for 2. Scump with 2 sick kills there. Open things up. You can hear the crowd getting behind King Scump. And this is when things start to get scary for Luminosity. The crowd starts to get loud behind OpTic Gaming, and they just start making these crazy individual plays.
Are they cheering for Scump because he keeps getting team killed?
Yeah, right. Probably not what they want to see, but doesn't matter. OpTic Gaming's winning. They're up 13-6 here versus LG. Kills just going down in the middle of the map for OpTic Gaming. It's going to be 3 dead for LG. With 45 seconds left, Maven. Obviously, this one does not look good. Looks like Luminosity could drop this map.
There's one left. I mean, technically, I don't even know if there's enough time to even do it. I mean, we've seen on this map, this is all the way back to stage 1, you saw like a 4-point rally in the span of 25, 30 seconds. I think it was OpTic versus Envy very, very early in the game, but we've seen some crazy comebacks, but at this point, there's just too many points, not enough time. OpTic Gaming is going to take a 2-1 advantage here in the series.
Yeah, and it's a very nice performance from OpTic Gaming, and I think things really started to turn with that play from Karma. I mean, once Karma makes that interception, turns in for 2, they get another 2 points off of that play, with Formal getting those streaks. It's definitely the play of the game for me.
Yeah, I mean, it stands out like Looney does stuff like that for me all the time. Like, he will not have the best KD in something like an uplink, but he will be the most influential player at times. He will have all those big play moments. And Karma, no stranger to that in uplink and CTF.
I tell you what, I mean, Scump goes 30-18 with an SMG on a map like Fringe when high caliber is in play. It's pretty impressive performance.
Saw that 2-piece he had. He was cooking that. Getting it done.
He was destroyed.
But now that ends up being, I mean, we had a close game 1. This is, I guess, the most lopsided game we've had to this point, obviously, with the first 2 being so tight.
And now you know Stronghold CTF will be the next map, and that's one that the pace will slow down, that Luminosity definitely has a chance to come back, force that game 5.
If I remember correctly, that is where at stage 2 final, it was a 4-0 blowout for OpTic. I talked to Study and the guys afterwards. They're like, they kicked their asses.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't know what to do. They were playing it so well. We'll see if it continues here, but to break down the uplink, Puckett, it's all you guys.
Thank you very much, fellas. OpTic is now up 2-1, and it was a really close game if you look at the first half. 6-7, 1-point difference between the 2 squads. Half 2, this was all OpTic Gaming. One guy in particular, Scumpy, caught fire. Where did he start, guys? What do you want to start with from Scump?
I think the biggest thing is, like I was talking about, controlling that red building, barn. That's what OpTic did on the least preferred side. You don't give the other team a lane to get 1-point opportunities often. That's why you saw LG's just sort of stagnant on that second side. The slaying was somewhat close, and then all of a sudden OpTic took over, largely due to this man right here.
And he was getting it done with his weapons. He's punching people. And OpTic Gaming, you see him down 2-0. A big interception to start things off, but then they started slowly chipping their way back. But Scump, he just basically slayed his way every single time through the drone, and then he was not missing his shots when given the opportunity. Scump leading the team in kills, leading the team in scores in this one, but we talked about who are some of the players to watch. You said Scump and Karma. Karma also came up with some big plays that I feel like kind of sucked the momentum away from Luminosity, including that interception to start side number 2.
I mean, that's what he does best, right? I mean, Karma, every once in a while, he won't have the best of games, like 40 bombs or 50 bombs or something like that, but he sits there and he always gets the job done. He always comes up with those clutch, important plays, and that's what OpTic needs him for, and that's what he does. He does it best.
Yeah, and looking at that game, if I was Luminosity after that first half, I'm very pleased with the 7-6, especially on, they were on the least, preferred side. They go into that second half, and they just weren't able to sort of like get mid-map control. OpTic always had trains pressure. They had to continuously wrap back. And then as soon as they started getting mid-map control, getting into that barn area, they weren't there for long. OpTic just did a really good job of clearing out their base and controlling middle map.
Touching on that point too, the one thing we saw OpTic execute that LG didn't was if they couldn't push up towards that right side of the map, OpTic took the drone and threw it over that barn to get that 1-point score. We saw it multiple times on that one. That LG did not try to do it at all. They just tried to keep forcing the ball over towards that fence's side, got shut down every single time.
And it looked like they weren't even ready for that toss. I think one time Scump picked up the drone in the middle of the map, jumped over, and there was 3 LG members. I think it was 1 front barn, top barn, and fences, and all 3 of them had no idea he was going for that one, and out of nowhere he just flew through the map and threw it over that. That was a really impressive play.
The 1-point tosses, they add up. OpTic Gaming is now going to be leading this series 2-1, but we could have a potential 2 more maps coming up. Any last thoughts on uplink here? Is this one of the weaknesses for Luminosity, or was this just an OpTic Gaming map?
I think right now,
I think it's
I think it looks right now that OpTic is just more prepared. I think they have been preparing. They've been putting more hours in than the other team right now. I think OpTic is just playing their game that they have practiced for.
And then, from my opinion, it's something that LG regularly struggles with. It's a step-by-step process. Step 1, drone control. Step 2, create the lane. Step 3, score. They do step 1 very, very well. Step 2 and 3 are non-existent at times. You're going to get blown out by the elite teams. It happens again.
I think Uplink is just OpTic. They're so strong at it. It requires so much teamwork, and that's just where OpTic shines.
They got the lead for now. Will they be able to hang on to it? We'll find out. Game number 4 coming up in just a few minutes. But before we go to game number 4, we want to highlight 2 key players on opposite ends of the stage. As esports has grown, so has the esports salaries, and we have 2 proud fathers now competing here in Call of Duty.
Before I had my daughter, like games, video games in general, it was more of a fun thing for me, and it still is fun. But now everything has to be meaningful. There has to be a reason why I'm doing it, and I can't waste time, and I don't want to waste time. My daughter is like one of my biggest inspirations. She makes me work hard and really changes my mindset, I guess, while playing. She's just always there, you know, like when I'm done playing, she's waiting outside my door. If I'm not streaming or there's no reason for me to be playing, she's my main priority. You know, at the same time, I mean, it's a job. I have to practice. There's 3 other people who need me to do it. So, you know, it's tough at times, but it's what I like to do. And hopefully when she's older, she'll support me. So Saints is expecting a baby soon. He's a really likable person, and I think it'll be good for him. I think he'll be a great dad.
My girlfriend Sydney and I, our baby's due on July 26th. It's a boy. We found out about 3 weeks ago, and we're extremely excited for it. We've been counting the days down, man, and she's extremely excited as well. We have like our own baby book right now that has pictures of the ultrasound of the baby. We like to gather as much information as we can. What would make me a successful father is just being there for him, giving him advice when he needs to, supporting him in any decision he wants to make as long as he's happy. I think as long as my kid ends up like knowing how to be a good friend and being like a kind, decent person, then that'll make me feel successful as a father.
2 great players playing for more than just a trophy, and we do want to give a big congratulations to Renato on the right there. Saints and his wife Sydney now have welcomed Kai into the world. They are watching from home, but now Luminosity has to face off against OpTic Gaming and capture the flag. This is do or die if you want to win your pool. You're going up against the top seed in OpTic Gaming. How does Luminosity get the win here, boys?
I think they're going to have to play that step-by-step process we were just talking about in Uplink. I think it's the same thing in CTF. I think you're going to want to slow them down. You want to slow it down, post up, get your kill, and then push up and do it again and execute. You have to make sure you make those kills that you get on the map very important and execute at the flag.
Study needs to slow it down, get something rolling into his favor. He's very big on momentum, right? He hasn't done anything to slow it down and make easy gunfights in his favor. That's 2 respawns in a row. He's heavily struggled, in my opinion. If he's able to turn it around, that's the hype you need going into a potential map 5, but here's the start. It's going to be tough to bounce back after those 2, though.
We saw Study shine in Search and Destroy, but Search is a full game play. You got to win a respawn against OpTic Gaming here. Is there anything going on in the ban and protects that you think might go in Luminosity's favor?
Nothing yet. I mean, they're just getting rid of, you know, camo, overdrive, just making sure that not one player can make a huge play in CTF. I mean, that's super important. You have to wrap back to your base. I mean, Luminosity is a veteran squad. These guys know how to play CTF. This should be a pretty balanced matchup. It's just going to come down to those clutch plays with specialists and who's able to, you know, make the big play.
And do you want to see slow gameplay from this Luminosity squad, or do you need to up the tempo against OpTic and CTF?
I want to see slower gameplay, but not sit in the base slow. I want to see, like I was saying before, push up, get your kills, and then push up again and get your kills again. I think Study's forcing too many gunfights, as what TP just touched on, and I think that if they can slow it down, get in the power positions, wait until they get the kill, and then push up again, I think they'll be fine. I think they really need to focus on doing that.
You have to do it on a map like Stronghold as well. The most, like the slowest CTF we're going to see in the CWL map set. So it's going to be very tough. I think this map does favor OpTic, sort of slower, more patient style. Formal, you know, best AR in the game. You can easily say that. Study's going to struggle against it again. Nameless doesn't have that, or did LG ban the Man of War, or does OpTic ban the Man of War? Yeah, okay, so Nameless is going to have his go-to AR again. So that's something to touch on as well.
All right, well, we have 2 players to watch in this matchup for CTF, 2 stars in the game. Will Luminosity be able to hang with OpTic Gaming? Let's take a look at our players' stats here as we break it down. Key players here on your left. Again, it is Scump. He just showed you what he can do in Uplink. He is your key player going up against Study in CTF. Now, the big numbers difference here that jumps out to me, a 1.0 KD, not as good as what he's done in all the other games for us from Scump, but on the other side, Study has struggled, just a 0.81 KD when it comes to CTF. What's Study got to do differently here other than just win his gunfights, guys?
Well, I think because Nameless, recently got, put on the team, so he sort of runs that slower AR now. So Study uses that second, third sub, and he helps his team push. It's just he's making those pushes towards that objective. That's why his KD isn't as high. But you can obviously see Scump with a 1.0, he makes a lot of plays around that flag. He stays alive, waits for his teammates. You need to see the same out of Study.
Yeah. All right, I'm cheering on Study. I want to see it Game 5, but we'll see, can OpTic Gaming close it down right now? Let's send it over to our casters to kick off CTF.
Thank you, Christopher Puckett. We're ready to go. CTF. And I'm at least 85% sure this is what they played at stage 2 when OpTic kind of rolled them. But what that kind of tells me too, imagine if you got spanked, right? A team just gave it to you. You felt outmatched, which I believe is what they were saying. Like, we didn't know what to do. Like, they were playing perfectly. You think that would then be a mode that you would go practice, right? You put time into that. You would see what kind of went wrong.
But obviously a lot of stuff going on with LG. Probably didn't have a lot of chance to practice over the last week or so. So you got to wonder how prepared they are.
That's very true. But so far, they are playing OpTic tough. I mean, outside the uplink, it's been a very, very tight series. But now it is time for CTF. And I just, recent history has to make me want to take OpTic Gaming here. Close this out 3-1.
I think you would, obviously. Looking at these two teams and how the series has gone thus far, I would probably favor OpTic Gaming in this one. Obviously, I kind of agree with what the analysts say. Like, they need to slow it down, but not like kind of turtle all the way in the back of their base. Slow the pace of the game down. Like, still push up, but just kind of do it more methodically. Like, get some kills, push up a little bit, wait, get some kills, push up more, pull the flag, then try and figure out which way you want to pull it, where the spawns are coming in. I think they just need to take their time a little bit more. Luminosity getting a little bit too frantic. Just trying to play a pace of play that favors OpTic Gaming so much.
Well, again, congrats to Saints, proud new father. Let's see what he can do here going up against OpTic Gaming in Game 4. We'll kick things off with him.
And he's going to be pushing this outside snow area, and Luminosity really needs to make their presence been felt inside of Mansion here early. When you're attacking this Mansion side, you need to get control of it. You need to always pose a threat that you're going to push straight out. But OpTic Gaming wins some gunfights here early. It's going to force Saints to rotate all the way into the back, and Scump just makes a beeline for the LG flag.
I mean, that's the right play, I guess, from both of them. Saints, you expect him to wrap the whole way back like that. He gets 3 going there in a row, but will ultimately end up falling.
But I almost feel like you would have rather have him stay inside of Mansion and play for that. You would have had 2 teammates spawning up almost on top of your flag, able to make that return happen.
That's true. Constant pressure, right? Usually it ends up turning into a score. He's got in the top bedroom, trying to one-on-one Scump. That is not easy, man, to win a gunfight with. That's going to be 3 down. It's just going to be Study up to try and deal with this. And now the pressure comes in. You can see the 2 and 4. That's going to be Karma and Krim starting to pinch forward. As he falls over, it really just leaves Krim here to at least be a distraction. Make sure his team can spawn up and get back to mid-map.
And most of the assault rifle players going with the M8. You're actually going to see Nameless with the HVK in his hand, and the Study's going to have the M8. But you do see Karma running the Shiva. So that is something that makes it through in the Ban of Protect. So in the last game, it was the Man of War and the Shiva that got banned out. So now you're seeing the Shiva get into play, and Karma's going to go with it.
Is this Swanee?
Yeah, right. This is Swanee. Swanee's 0-1 first half of CTF gameplay. No, I think they'll play a little bit faster than that. But you can see both teams, nobody's really kind of being too aggressive towards the other team's side. I mean, you see Nameless get in a bunker there, but I mean, look at the rest of LG on the map. They're nowhere close. And I feel like LG is kind of swindling away a good opportunity here. They're hacking over towards Mansion. It's a side we see flags been put in easier. I'm not going to say it is like easy to get a flag, but obviously from the 2 sides, I think this is the easier one to attack from. They just have not put anything good together here.
Well, Spacely able to snap on 1 there, Matt. That was 2 in a row for him. Now can he maybe get a flag out? There's 1 in the back. Yeah, you're not going to win a gunfight there when you don't shoot back. Karma able to pick him off, and Karma's been playing pretty defensively thus far.
Well, you'd expect that with the Shiva. He's going to hold those longer sight lines. He's probably going to play something like this driveway area where Saints is roaming through and look over towards that mid and over towards bunker. Probably have another player supporting him in the base. But now it's OpTic Gaming giving up a ton of space to Luminosity. It's just if Luminosity can take advantage and create some kind of offense on the attack, and you see Saints jump up, put some bullets in 1. He's not able to finish him off, but Krim picks up 2 as that goes down. So the push from LG completely stopped, and you see Krim's going to try and make a play for the LG flag. There's 1 player all the way in the back. That is Study. Study's finally able to pick up the kill. I was like, this is taking a very long time to develop. Finally able to take out Krim.
And part of the reason you see teams from OpTic side play a little bit more defensively is it is the less preferred side. You want to just hold. Like if this goes into the second half 0-0, your OpTic feel like you won the game already. I mean, that's sort of how this map plays out. I mean, yes, it is usually a low-scoring game. You're looking at 1-0, 2-1, lots of overtimes. So it's not over for sure, but you feel very, very good if you're even tied. And now with Scump having the flag out, good opportunity to get something through. I was going to jump to Saints because he was the one on the attack pushing forward. There is one from behind, can Spacely get the angle. It doesn't look like he's going to get there in time. Scump should have the first cap through and what could be the winning game here.
That's something LG cannot let happen. You see Scump's going to pop his kinetic. He's going to fire a lot of shots and not able to finish off Spacely, but Grim comes in for the help.
It was 37.
Formal with 1. Yeah, and he misses just about everything there.
3-3 left in the clip.
But that is something that LG cannot let happen. I mean, from this side, you need to at least put 1 flag in. It's going to feel good about going into the second half, and to be down 0-1 now, it's a bad start for LG. And you see, with the way Krim is shooting right now, it may not even matter if they would have gotten pressure into Mansion. He is just absolutely crushing.
Well, he's kind of playing hide and seek with a player you saw for just a moment there at mid-connector. He already pushed all the way at mid-map. I believe Krim just he's like, where the hell did he go? Loses him.
Somehow still alive. Okay,
yeah.
They finally able to take him out there. It's going to be Nameless chase him down mid-map. The flag's going to get returned on the opposite side, though. Luminosity still trying to make this push, but they just keep going one-on-one. I mean, there's not a coordinated push with players coming through the mid or coming through top mansion and then driveway. Like, a real good hit all at the same time. It's just one player kind of pushes out, tries to make a play, and the next player tries to push out, make a play. Just not the way you're going to win against a team as talented as OpTic Gaming.
What's scary is I know maybe your KD is not as important as something like CTF, but usually if you're going to be the team that's out slang, it's usually when you're from the preferred side, right?
Yeah.
Where it's a little easier to pressure, get flags out, and that's not what we're seeing at all. OpTic Gaming has the lead. They have held strong. You think that this may get uglier in the second side.
Luminosity does as close to nothing in the first half on offense as you could possibly get. Yeah. I mean, they make 1 flag pull, but it's not even a great flag pull. I mean, there's one guy in there, he's trying to make some kind of hero play. Doesn't work. OpTic Gaming's going to take a 1-0 lead going into the second half. Standout performance, obviously, from Crim6. He finishes the first half 14-6. I mean, next highest kill total in the lobby is 7 with Nameless, so you just see that disparity is just enormous.
It's just like game 1. I mean, yeah. He had 30 and everyone else had like 15 to 18 or so it felt like. He was destroying. He's continuing it here.
And now you got to wonder, I mean, if you're Luminosity, you can't give up a flag here early, but I imagine OpTic Gaming is really going to try and hit this mansion hard, get control, and you know, Luminosity cannot break on this defensive setup. They need to stand strong, and at the same time, they need somebody like Spacely to flank and get behind the enemy lines and pull a flag out.
Well, speaking of getting behind enemy lines, Krim may be able to. You see Nameless's position there, and guess what you can't challenge that with? A VMP. That will be a very difficult gunfight. Nameless has moved up a little bit closer, which I guess gives Krim some kind of opportunity, but he's going to have to back down. Let's hop to the other side of the action here. As well, I was going to say 2 players are pushing Karma as I switch.
So what they were trying to do, OpTic Gaming, there is they were trying to get Krim over in bunker and just trying to get Nameless to look, and then they were going to peek him from the mid and just try and make him look in 2 different directions. One of those players would have been able to take Nameless out, and then you would have seen a flagpole. That was kind of the thought behind that setup from OpTic Gaming.
Nothing really developed yet, but they still have the advantage, still feeling good about it. The Shiva shot's a little bit off. Now 2 down for OpTic Gaming. Is this an opportunity for a push from LG? You have 2 players up. You've spawned a couple out by satellite, but Scump on steps, difficult to deal with, but not when you toss that, and 8 teammates clean up as they push him out. Can't get around the edge. One there to play defense. That's going to be Foreman. Now Scythe's going to be coming out. Is he able to find the kills? Checking the back, looking to satellite, gets tagged up. Nothing comes from that at all. And so far, so good for the hold here from OpTic.
It's a great play by Formal, just staying alive here at top satellite, buying enough time for his teammates to rotate back to the flag. It was Karma that was able to take out Nameless at the side. It's Spacely, though, picking up 2. Now going to try and push through the middle of the map, and they're going to try and spawn OpTic Gaming out towards bunker side. And you see it's going to be Scum picking up 1, and he's going to make a beeline back to his flag. Now, Karma's been doing some nice shots at range with the Shiva. I think, you know, obviously the Shiva gives just a little bit of a different look than the M8 or obviously the HBK on this map, where you can really do your damage at range, and it's great to watch this mid-map. It's great to watch over by bunker.
And again, I mean, okay, so we know Study had a really rough game 1. The uplink wasn't too great either, right?
Yeah, Study has had a
the respawns have been brutal. I mean, he had a nice
series compared to what he's done in the past against top teams.
Let's see if maybe he can pick it up. Formal ends up dropping.
He's got about 3 minutes to pick it up.
Yeah.
Not a lot of time.
He needs to start the picking up now.
Yeah, no, I believe the picking up needed to start about a minute ago. But see, Krim's going to use his Psychosis, knows there's players attacking Satellite. He's going to be able to get one. Able to pick up a second there, just obliterating Saints. And you see the guys on Luminosity, they're starting to get a little bit desperate, flying up the map with just kind of reckless abandon. There's one player still out. It's going to be Study. Krim is going to flank him and be able to take him out over by Snow. And Krim is just on a tear. You see how accurate those VMP shots are at range. That was an AR versus VMP there. Krim not able to win the gunfight, but just to get that guy that weak to connect on that many shots just shows you how good his shot is with the VMP.
He just went layer by layer and completely cleared out like they're half of the map. Now it's going to be Spacey trying to get behind. He does have Heatwave to work with. The flagpole going to be coming in. The Heatwave goes off as well, able to find Scump. Now he's going to be off to the races. There's one in front. Nope, those are just like OC on the minimap. I'm getting fooled. Well, it looks like no, there is still, he's got coverage, but who is pushing across mid? It looks like it's going to be Karma. Might be able to make a play. He has Heatwave to work with.
I think if you're OG, you give this up and you play for a counter. You're going to get so much map control here. They're going to give up that flag. Now it's just whether they can get out of Mansion trying to counter capture.
Well, tied up with 90 seconds left. That was Spacely going big in the base. He's still on a 3-streak. He will end up falling there. Now it's Formal trying to tag shots in the back. He's got one. One's weak. Scump's going to go ahead and challenge. Should be able to find the kill there. Scump picking it up. Now it is the two-pronged attack from the side of OpTic Gaming. Saint's going to be down. They're spawning the bunker. Is there anyone there for the cutoff? But the flag is out now from both sides. They're just going to challenge it. They're taking the fight in. Here we go. It's going to be Scump pushing in. One watching the back. He gets kinetic armor pop, and he is out. He's out, but what was it? A dart comes in.
Spacely is able to take him out, but it's going to be Krim picking up the flag. It's going to be Karma watching mid-map.
That
Karma's
kill
got
is
one
it.
more kill, and you see all the nade coming in from Spacely almost takes Krim out, but fantastic play by OpTic Gaming. They were able to give up that flag, set up for a good counter cap opportunity, and Study pulls that flag, gets all the way in a bunker. Some nice shots there by Krim to finish off Study. He's going to get fully streaked out with 49 seconds to go. Does not look good for LG. He's going to call in the Hellstorm. He's going to get one. I imagine he saves the Lightning. Could potentially use the dart here towards the end.
Well, he can basically make sure they never get a full 4 on pressure. Even if he uses those, just gets 1 kill each time, you make sure there's not like a full team push, right? Krim still finding kills. Formal gets him on the bake. The Lightning now going to come in. He is going to drop, though. That's going to be Nameless. That's up close and personal. He's going to fall. It is the lone man, Spacely. His 3 teammates are dead. He's got to kill everyone and get forward for the flagpole. 20 seconds left. I don't even know if he has enough time to pull and make the run at this point. He's going to try and get in. Can't win the one in the back. This should be it. Series should beat OpTic Gaming. Just not enough time. The green will hold strong.
Yeah, they just did not get enough from Study here on this final map. I mean, he finishes 6 and 12. Not a strong performance from Study. Not any good offense on that first half for LG. They fall a little short as OpTic Gaming just proves to be too strong.
And that is, I mean, think about it. You had 1 cap in, what, 8 minutes of gameplay? Yeah. And then the final 90 seconds, everything just starts to erupt. You see the streaks start to come in, some of the weapons being used. And yeah, I mean, you have 6 kills from Study. I mean, you need more. I mean, he's a great player, fantastic kid, but you need more out of him.
Yeah, 10-minute game, 6 kills is not very good.
Especially when you look at somebody like Krim, you know, dropping 22 and 14, and he was on point, man.
And I mean, you even look OpTic Gaming on their side. I mean, their lowest player in the kill department was Scump. He finishes with 12. That's double the amount that Study put up. So yeah, it's very tough to win a game when you have one player that's just not pulling their weight, especially a player you rely on as much as they rely on Study to make big plays. I really feel like though they kind of let that one got away early when they didn't get control of Mansion. They didn't make any good pushes on that half.
Another thing to note. Pretty happy if you're OpTic Gaming. This is the best of 5. Because remember, they were up 3-1 in the best of 7. Luminosity won the final 3 maps. So, do I think this was
that does not happen often.
A little bit more convincing?
Like
I know. That, yeah. A little bit more convincing now for OpTic Gaming, but still, just probably I don't know, just a reset. You got it. I guess a little bit of a revenge here on Luminosity. Now, so we know how we feel about it. I guess OpTic. Like that. No. Well, how do you feel about LG though? I mean, taking that loss, what did you like? What didn't work for you?
I mean, it's just a little bit of a wake-up call for LG, right? Like they're not gonna. You probably came in so confident to this event that you're just gonna have like a repeat performance. That you're gonna be able to take out OpTic. You're gonna put up good games against even the top competition, and it's not going to be this easy this time around. I mean, going into stage 2 finals, I feel like they were kind of an underdog. Nobody really knew about them. It's like now teams are prepared for this Luminosity squad. They got to come out better. They got to come out more aggressive. They got to play a little bit smarter. Right there towards the end against OpTic, I feel like they got a little bit. I don't want to say like scared, but they played way too passive. Study just needs to get some more confidence, some more energy behind his gameplay, and they'll be fine.
Well, OpTic is able to start 2-0 in the pool. They've only dropped a map. And speaking of OpTic, we've got Ben on the floor with an interview.
Thank you very much, guys. Down here with Crim6. Congratulations. You're now 2-0 in your pool. Round of applause as well from the crowd. It's always nice. I have to ask you, though, how good was that, getting a little bit of revenge against Luminosity?
It was good. We played really well, and except for the S&D, specialists, we suck with them, so it's whatever.
What happened in that round 11? Just talk us through it.
Nada used Kinetic. Damon had Heatwave Shiva, which, I don't advise, but basically I called a bad strat. Nato hit us with kinetic, then I got team heat waved, and I think I would have killed Nato because I knew exactly where he was, the kinetic player. So
it was unlucky, to say the least. One question I want to ask you, and something that we've been talking about on the analyst desk. If you go back to your Cole days, when you were playing at the NA Regionals, you lose. Strictly Business wins that event. How similar is that feeling to what you had last event?
You know, it's good. It's always good to have that like fresh new drive. And you know, we've been playing a lot. We've been playing probably more than we ever have. So we're pretty confident. We're pretty confident. You know, we're gonna show some new things that we've been trying out. And you know, that match we did. So.
Is there anyone specifically you want to play against?
Don't really care. I never care. So.
Fair enough. Well, congratulations once again, and good luck in the remaining pool games. That's everything from me and Krim. Over to the analyst desk for their thoughts.
Thank you, Benson. I love the haircut. Crim6 with another big win. Luminosity taken down as OpTic gets their revenge. No real surprise for any of us here at the desk. You guys called it at the start that OpTic should be able to beat Luminosity here in pools. But let's talk about that capture the flag game. What went down at the end, because it was a pretty slow first half, just a 1-0 score, and then all of a sudden all the flags started coming in.
I mean, I think it was probably the most heads-up play we've seen this entire tournament so far. When OpTic pulled that flag and they knew that Luminosity had the flag going bunker side, they knew Scump had kinetic. I wonder who made that call, but he ran right at him with kinetic, knew that he had that specialist, knew that he was going to get that flag return at least, and that's what they did, and that ended up winning them the game.
Yeah, during that situation, they ran right by Spacely, who was in a dart. It was probably just some miscommunication, but he was able to pick up the first flag kill. But I think if he would have got out of that dart, maybe catch him and get the quick return. But it was just, you know, a great heads-up play by OpTic to run it the way they did.
And that's a lot of confidence right there. Not a lot of teams will have sort of the guts to pull a flag and just go right at him in a sort of stalemate situation. That's kind of what sets the players on OpTic apart, in my opinion. The biggest thing, though, is you can't get caught in a dart in that situation. I don't know if it was communication. You just thought you had to make a play. Hero plays seem to never really pay off in Call of Duty, at least not in the large majority. So a bit of an unfortunate situation for them. And then, you know, we were talking about Study having to play a little bit slower. I meant pre-aim more, not fight anyone. He went like 6 and 12.
Yeah.
That's
right.
enough. That's
you
too
need to
slow.
be on the map.
Too slow, man. Yeah, so.
Speed it up a little bit more. Chris, you said it was just specialist abilities. You stopped and you like slammed the desk and you're like, that was perfect execution by OpTic Gaming, just using the specialist. What was the most important? Was it that kinetic from Scump?
I think it was definitely that kinetic from Scump. I mean, that won them the game, and it was just such a smart play. Because normally when you pull a flag in CTF and you see the other team has a flag and it's coming from that side of the map, you go to the opposite side and you're like, someone else help me out, we're going to stalemate this and we're going to go with the win. But instead, they're like, listen, Scump's got kinetic armor. He's playing well right now. Let's send them right at the flag, and that's exactly what they did.
And the thing is if that goes wrong, I mean, that was Luminosity's second cap. Like, they scored one already. They were on, you know, the relay. So if that goes wrong, and Spacely, and I'm not sure who else was with them, but if they expect that play and they're able to counter it, because inside that bunker, there's so many power positions. If they expect that play, pick up those kills, I mean, they essentially win that game 2-1.
And they also probably knew that, because I know we were watching Formal when it was happening at first. Formal turned around and they knew Nameless was off spawn, so they knew the flag could only probably have one guy with them, and it was one of the flag carriers. So I think they were pretty confident going into that, which is another heads-up play out of OpTic Gaming, knowing that the other team has people off the respawn and knowing that there's probably only one guy with that flag carrier, and he was in a dart. So.
Yeah, exactly. Great stuff. Formal was able to pick it up, and that's pure mini-map awareness. He wasn't getting a call out there. He just knew that, okay, a player's going to be spawning over towards that driveway. He turned around, able to win that gunfight to stop the pinch from coming in on that flag run. Heads-up plays. That's why they're the elite team.
We talked about Luminosity not having all 4 players hitting on all cylinders. OpTic Gaming, they all had star games. Everyone performed tonight, especially Crim6. He drops 50 kills in game number 1. He goes on to impress in game number 4. Let's take a look in our Elgato flashback at some of his highlights. Krim was just ripping everybody, just getting up in the face of Luminosity with the SMG, causing problems, doing everything right in this game replays.
And I mean, this is what I was talking about a little bit before. OpTic scrimming. They're playing Call of Duty. They're playing a lot of hours of Call of Duty, probably the most going into the event out of most of the teams. So with that being said, you see how well Crim6 is playing right now. That has a lot to do with the way they're preparing, and that's a very scary OpTic Gaming side to see.
Some of those shots that Krim was hitting with a sub, an SMG, a VMP, one of the most difficult weapons to use on that map, Stronghold. The line of sights favor AR players heavily, so the fact that he was able to do that, I think he was like 14 at 6 and 1 point on that first half, which is why they're able to break open so easily. The fact that he was sort of the standout player with an SMG. That's a lot of pressure on that rock side of the map, and that's why they had so much success.
So this was just a pool play match. We should remind everybody it's just Friday. No one's out of the tournament yet here in pool play, in the group play. Would you guys like to see a rematch between LG and OpTic Gaming later on in the bracket, potentially a finals match, Joe?
I don't know. I'm really hoping for Envy OpTic. I think Envy's looking amazing. They just won Season 2 playoffs. I think that matchup, that's what I want to see in the finals.
You want to see Envy? Could see that there. Luminosity, they of course will continue to fight out of their pool, but we know OpTic Gaming is now leading Pool D with a 2-0 record. Here's a look at how they did it across just 4 maps. A surprise on Breach, but it went all the way to around number 11, but 250 to 206, pretty close hardpoint game, went back and forth. OpTic, of course, closing that one out strong. I feel like the most one-sided game, though, is definitely their uplink game. How do you stop OpTic Gaming and uplink right now?
Just slow it down as much as possible. The AR players need to be the ones that slow down and get to those positions on the map to create those lanes. They didn't really do a good job of it. You saw OpTic was able to play so slow, using those 15-second resets on top of the building to slow the pace down. Overall, you need to create the lanes on the strong side of the map more effectively. LG was not able to do that, but it is a common issue for them, especially against a team like OpTic that slays so heavily. So.
OpTic Gaming looking strong. Definitely one of the top contenders to take home the Orlando title. We do have one more great match, though, coming up in just a little bit. This is going to be Rise Nation versus FaZe, your 2 toughest squads coming out of Group C. We're going to get all of our predictions and thoughts on the match as the players get loaded up. Don't go anywhere. We are live, and we'll be right back after this.